the international community you always hear about. Canada did it to everyone. What if Texas just kept going? Now presenting Texas Plus. Spin the globe and wherever it lands, that's where we'll go. Territorial claims of Virginia throughout the years. 1609, 1784, 1792, 1863, Virginia. You know, I was a god once. The flag of France according to the French Air Force. When you are in another country and the vibe hits different, the Mexico-US border in movies be like, screw you. Screw you. Wanna play cricket? Yeah, sure. Hey, 6 continentes. There are 7 continents. There are 6 continents. Is real when is fake walks in. 1970. One more lane will fix it. 10 years, 10 years, 10 years, 10 years. Houston, you have a problem. 99% of city planners quit before adding the final lane that will fix traffic. Countries spend billions of dollars to send people to space. Countries, so what did you bring back? Astronauts. Rock. France population 99.99 million. And there's a city in France called Nice. Imagine still having a British watermark on your flag. This post was made by... Wow. When was America invented? 4th of July, 1776. Aliens before 4th of July, 1776? There is no life on this planet. Invent a new sport. Spread it around the world. Be bad at it. Invent new sport. No one else wants to play it. You're world champions. White mums, after saying arigato to the waiter in an Italian restaurant. Spaghetti. Bro, Madrid is so beautiful. You should visit. Literally 99% of Madrid. Why is this a world wonder? The color, gaps, and bizarre arrangement accurately predict the present-day British smile. You get new brain wrinkles when you learn something. My brain, after 3 years of French class. The entire world. I'm 1.80 meters tall. Nice, you're tall. America? Dude, I have 6 feet. Cool. I just learned that China has a replica city of Paris. I can't even tell which one is which. Nobody. Russian dashcam videos. Normal DNA and Italian DNA. The real division of Europe. Some love tomatoes and others love potatoes. In Canada, they use special stickers to slow the cars. In Ireland, we use the 3D techniques. Turks in the 1500s. We are the most powerful empire in the world. Turks now. Hey kid, take this ice cream. Whoop. I lost 100 pounds. In America versus UK. English weather. I'm freezing, it's too cold. -3 degrees. Russian winter. -23. Great weather today. Paraglider lands, immediately gets attacked by a kangaroo. Australia 100. Germans, when you call it a toilet instead of the Popenfahrten. 8:15. Thank you for brightening our day. Now you can rest, buddy. It has been an honor and a pleasure, guys. 10:30. Please go away. Screw you. 3:25. Please. Okay, see you in 2 hours. No. Who wants English speakers to learn another language? Who is willing to speak your language with English speakers? These European monsters said. Sorry, we don't tip. Laughed and walked out. Close the borders to Europeans now. How Americans see the world. America, Europe, 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 Europe. What's one of the coolest things you've heard? In the 1500s, Mapuche warrior Galva Rhino had both hands cut off as punishment for defying the Spanish. He returned home, raised an army, and fought with the Spanish with blades tied to the stubs of his hands. Jason is a name from ancient Greece that sounds like it was made up in the United States in 1979. Imagine being part of a continent. This post was made by the Pacific Island Gang. The flag of Switzerland stands for money, chocolate, participating in a world war. Earth has a planetary flag in case you didn't know. When we get to Mars, this is the flag we will plant. I don't think so. Passenger trains in the United States versus Europe. French. We outnumbered the English, so we must win. English. Arrow. Where is this taken? Beautiful. People. The pyramids are too big and complex for people to have built it. It must have been aliens. Some Indian dude with a bucket and a stick. Bosnians. I want to swim. Croatia. No. French flag pillow and a Dutch flag pillow. Haha, your country is weird and dumb. No, your country is dumb. All people are stupid. Yep. Please color. Danish flag. Swedish flag. Finnish flag. No, not that flag. Unoriginal country names. Little Venice. New Zealand. We're in the south of Africa. We're a union of states. Original country names. The land of the rising sun. The moon's belly button. The land of honest men. Where the king lives. Why is it that when natives die, it's always you three? Countries with cars in space. And countries with universal healthcare. How many people speak Swedish? At least 5. Finland, Netherlands, Thailand, France, Poland, Indonesia. Wait, it's all Norway? Always has been. The American in me is showing. You called England Ireland? What? If someone finally raked Canada's flag, they'd discover Canada is actually ruled by Peru. Country. I don't have oil, I swear. The USA. Alright, I believe you, but my Tommy gun don't. Humans 100,000 years ago. Me hungry, me hunt mammoth. Humans today. Why food delivery very slow. Are Serbian and Croatian the same language? You have provoked a gang war. Other countries. We're losing coastline. No! The Netherlands. The ocean is swallowing up our land. Just make more. Stand for this flag or get out. Is this 1,575 twerking Among Us crewmates? Did you count them? You probably multiplied the x-axis by the y-axis. I should have done that. Country exists. Britain. Mine. In Italy, bars are starting to use pasta as straws to reduce plastic. You've heard of United States of America, Japan and Germany, France, Czech Republic, Spain and Ireland. Brazil man complains of severe back pain. Finds out he has 3 kidneys. Meanwhile, black marketeers. This is business. A flock of sheep in Inner Mongolia have been walking in a circle for over 10 days straight, and no one knows why. They are doing this for clout, and it's sad. Why do they say Michigan looks like a mitten? The thumb would have been huge. Cuisine map of Europe. Bad cuisine and good cuisine. I forgot about beans on toast. England should be included in good cuisine. Earth, but with coastline data rounded to the nearest latitude longitude. Australia versus US language differences. Bloke, man. Cyclone, hurricane. Lift, elevator. Shopping center, shopping mall. Universal healthcare, nothing. UK. Congrats, you are being discovered. Literally any country they came across in the 17th century. Please do not resist. Canada was definitely running out of ideas for street names. That street and the other street. This street. Femboy density map. If you want to offend, put pineapple on pizza, refer to the US as South Canada. Make tea by microwaving water instead of boiling it. Germany. We're losing the war. Italy. You are. Chad. History flag all the people who live in the Chad country. France in their history books, and France in every other history book. How Americans see other countries. France or something, I don't know. KFC is reportedly moving their headquarters from Kentucky to Texas. Kentucky in shambles right now. You drive for 4 hours and are still in the same part of the country. You drive for 2 hours, the local accent has changed twice and bread rolls have a new name. You drive for 4 hours, you passed 3 front lines and the language changed 17 times. What people think when I say I'm from Romania? Blood, I love blood. Excuse me, where's the train station? Je suis désolé, mais je n'ai pas compris. Excuse me, where's the train station? Just go ahead and it'll be on the left-hand side in about 500 meters. Have a good stay. Trump. We should buy Greenland. My brain. Getting 1 more star. They are eating the snails, they are eating the frogs. Western Europe. Yes, brother, enjoy your succulent delicatesse of a meal. We might not respect you, but we love you. The Department of Fisheries in India. This building is very sophisticated. It's crazy how you don't even have to speak German to understand what he said in this tweet. Swedish sugar experiment on the mentally disabled. We will feed you guys large amounts of sugar to see the effects. Okay, Doc, my teeth are falling out. Interesting. You will publish your findings, right? No, we were funded by the sugar industry. How Brits view Germans. How Germans view Brits. Actual German and Brits. Wow, look, we stacked up a bunch of rocks on top of each other. Please clap. Bad thread. Yeah, that's kiddie stuff. Remember that famous Denmark construction? Like, wait, you guys don't have any. Denmark, more like no landmark. Okay, you guys Danish people need to defend themselves. You see the Spanish flag? Me studying French so that I can refuse to speak it as opposed to just being unable to. I can't believe Italians saw this and then moved to New Jersey. Scotland mentioned, rah. I just realized that is not Scotland. When you're German and haven't had a beer in the last 5 minutes, be French. Made 1 gun that shoots 3 bullets at once. Mag capacity is not divisible by 3. Netherlands. We value privacy a lot. Dutch windows. A normal person confusing the 2 flags. That's Australia and New Zealand. In Canada, we play a game called Am I on the Road? I pledge allegiance to the flag. Hey, can I copy your homework? Sure, just make it look different so that it doesn't look like you just copied it. Sure thing. We're experiencing heavy snowfall. That's adorable. Bro, please don't let anyone tell you tacos don't work miracles. Dutch weather normally and Dutch weather during isolation. That's the sun. Prince George, future king of England, dreams of being a pizza chef. This is what I want to do when I grow up. No woman who goes to Italy on vacation is to be trusted. Italy is just Thailand for women. What do you mean? Me, an Italian, watching all my childhood restaurants slowly turn into overpriced tourist traps. Hey Germany, can I have free trade? To create a coal and steel community? Yup. Actually treats the largest and most significant supranational democratic entity in human history like a boss. European Union time. The Commonwealth in a nutshell. Chile is so long that it could serve as a bridge connecting Spain to Canada across the Atlantic Ocean, and yet it refuses to do so. Imagine having a historic mental breakdown and cutting your ear off and then years later it's sold as an eraser. Guys with helmets like this have a 492% chance of invading your city with a wooden horse. Love knows no borders. Neither does Britain. No more Poland. You guys couldn't behave, so I put it somewhere else. Turkmenistan dictator unveils giant gold statue of his favorite dog. Your crush recently put a flag in their bio. You failed geography and have no idea where this country is from. Despite popular belief, the country Poland is not named after Poe. Other countries use the metric system. USA. Keep one turkey vulture of space between you and others. India is always ahead of America. No, America is the best. Why was he crying, bro? I said India is ahead of America due to the time difference. Flags of Europe, but human bleed neon green. Japan's flag is also a pie chart of how much Japan is Japan. Japan is Japan. How King Henry VIII became the world's first gamer by re-rolling pregnancy until he got a child with good stats. I mowed a 100-foot wiener on my property, hoping Google would capture it someday. It took a full year. They've never had to log on to Teams. Dutch conquest of the North Sea. Belligerents. The Netherlands. The ocean. If the human population held hands around the equator, a significant portion of them would drown. When you can't afford a trip to Europe, well, this place is Brussels, Dublin, Lisbon, Paris, Vienna, and a lot more places. What normal people see and what colorblind people see. Colorado, nothing. The rest of the world. We use the metric system. The United States. Potentially hazardous asteroid. The width of 2,000 ferrets to whiz past Earth tomorrow. Country A. Screw you. Country B. Screw you too. Countries between country A and B. Every state's least favorite state. What the hell is Alaska's beef with Texas? Texas is a big state thing, while Alaska is 4 times larger than Texas. Also, because of the oil industry, probably every single person in Alaska knows a complete a-hole who moved up from Texas to get richer. Sounds like a them problem. Meanwhile, us Texans are just over here hating Oklahoma for quite literally no reason, except we hate them. Geography for kids. Water, McDonald's restaurant. A very lovely island in the Indian Ocean. Mafia Island. In 20 years, our country will be run by people homeschooled by day drinkers. He's got a point. The United States, USA, America, England, India in ancient times. We created an insane amount of math for the rest of the world to use. India in the modern times. We created an insane amount of math videos for the rest of the world to learn from. I just ate a crepe, so delicious, juicy, and good. I'm about to forgive French people. Stay strong, brother. Don't give in. That's how they get you. I know it's hard, but don't give in. Please, this isn't your heart. When you're laughing at World War III memes, and suddenly the sun rises at midnight. People visiting a country, and people living in the country. France has surrendered. Breaking news. Be the American the Japanese think you are. American prison, French prison, Swiss prison, British prison. Why aren't people bigger? Because then we drink all the rivers and be so full of fish and alligators, we just couldn't get anything done. Where I've spent most of my life. Poverty Island. Naming a city after a god, Athens. Naming your city after yourself. Just one more episode, just one more page, just one more piece, just one more country. Brazil seen by Americans. Amazonia. Rio de Janeiro. What do you call it when rain falls while the sun is shining? I have no term or expression for this. Sun shower. The devil is beating his what? What other? If you had to change citizenship, what country would you pick? Swiss, because their education system is so good. And their flag is a big plus. Minister confirms Britain will not leave Europe geographically. Brexit means Brexit. Japanese stereotypes of European countries. Well, okay, UK bad food, whiskey in Scotland, leprechauns in Ireland. You can drive 84 hours in France and still be in France. The American mind cannot comprehend this. You can drive 10 hours in North Carolina and still be in North Carolina. The European mind cannot comprehend this. Other countries. Climate change. We need to act quick for the future of our planet. France. That's a pain au chocolat. Screw you. That's a chocolatine. Go to hell, I hate you. Please step on Lego and have a painful death. Earth or something. I don't know. I'm not human. Which country has the most average national cuisine? Not great, not terrible, just average. This is Jadav Mulai, a lone Indian man who has planted a 1,360-acre forest all by himself to save wildlife. He planted trees every day for 35 years. The forest now has Bengal tigers, rhinoceroses, over 100 deer and rabbits. His forest is also home to elephants and a variety of birds. India successfully landing on the moon with just 75 million. Russia with their moon mission and crashing it into the moon with a $200 million budget. The Netherlands and Luxembourg. Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture. Me. They're the same. Man pays over $200 to ship Texas soil to Italy for son to be born over Texas soil. Brazil gets new 141-foot Christ statue, taller than Rio de Janeiro's Redeemer. France shortly after being invaded. 1940. France. Don't worry guys, I have a plan. France has left the game. Florida man who tried to run to Bermuda in inflatable bubble rescued by Coast Guard again. Florida man man. I'll do it again. British literature. I will die for honor. French literature. I will die for love. USA literature. I will die for freedom. Russian literature. I will die. I have winter tires and heated seats. Canadians. Flirting. Time traveler. What year is it? American soldier. 1918. We just won the Great War. Time traveler. You mean World War I? American soldier. Say psych right now. Google on any other random day of the year and Google on International Men's Day. We are not making fun of you. We just didn't know about this and it's awesome. Wait, why would they think we're making fun of them? Greenland. Total cases, 2. New cases, 1. This is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them. I went there and everyone knew you. Rat Island. Land sellers are the most delusional people in the market right now. I frequently look up homes set to lowest to highest prices, so I can cope dream, and this tiny triangle piece of land next to a freeway exit is selling for 500. Nope, no, absolutely not. Tumblr ads are getting increasingly incomprehensible, yet relatable. Once in a lifetime, 2 hurricanes, same place, same time, same place. I aspire to be like 2020, constantly trying to outdo myself, always in competition with myself, never letting myself do anything less than mediocre. Whether it's called tea or chai depends on the origin if it's transported by land or by sea between central and southeastern China. Northern American cryptids. I would love to meet a skinwalker. Detail from the unswept floor mosaic, made by Heraclitus, showing a mouse eating a walnut, a lion, zebra, giraffe, and hippo found by explorers in Madagascar, Mongolia, Turkey, creating Mongu. New Zealand is actually part of much bigger, sunken landmass. Finally, Old Zealand. Technically, the sun never sets on the British Empire. Americans. We need guns to defend ourselves. Australia. Melbourne man fights off carjacker with Nescafe Blend 43 jar. Ancient Greeks. Do something dishonorable. Poseidon. Can you survive the massive tsunami? Wait, massive? 70-plus-year-old world leaders, after making disastrous decisions they won't live to face. World population according to memes. Normal citizens, FBI agents. A country with interesting history, good food and culture, and amazing people. The people running the country. Mom, can we have an Xbox at home? We have an Xbox at home. Xbox at home. Turkey then. I shall stretch my might past any other imperial force and assert hegemony over Africa. Turkey now. Ooh woo, I love America. This is like any country now though. Bear wanders into City Hall building in California. You can't put a bear on a state flag and then act surprised when it shows up for a town hall meeting. Canada and Denmark are in territorial dispute over Hans Island. Their war consists of removing the other country's flag, planting theirs, and leaving a bottle of brandy or whiskey behind. Did you know the United States southern border is nearly identical to Mexico's northern border? Really? French recipes. If you're not making this in Paris, then what's the point? Screw you. Italian recipes. Use the left leg meat of a pig from one of 3 farms in this specific area of Tuscany. Or from this day my grandmother will begin manifesting physically in your house. Geography. Let's see who this really is. Economics, pol science, philosophy, statistics, math, chemistry, physics, surveying, biology, computer. Sharks versus humans. 2014. Sharks killed by humans. 63 million to 274 million humans killed by sharks. 7. Countries that won most battles. The country with the most battles won is France, with 1,115, followed by Britain and the United States, Poland, which places above the Roman Empire. Average number of bowel movements per week. This kind of makes me a bit sick. I tire greatly of that Hank Green, Bo Burnham and Polygon style, where the joke is some scrawny dude is nervous. Screw you. What's the whirlpool for? Looks nice. The true size of countries when not distorted on a sphere. America. We want you to know where you are going and where you're going. Europe. Go screw yourself. Modern versus traditional. The perfect world doesn't exist. Oh, and they would still fight each other. Doom Eternal Demon Invasion map. Australia is completely left alone? What the hell? We already live in hell. The Czech Republic. It's getting smaller and smaller, but if we go back far enough, in 8650 BC, it reached Neptune. It was too big, it had to be made smaller. Mexico renames USA. Old Mexico, New Mexico with Mexico. It's a well-known fact. If you stand on the Great Wall of China, you can actually see the moon. You and your boyfriend use protection, right? Yeah? Thank God. Egypt, and Egypt in American movies. I can't speak hieroglyphs, but this person can. Map of shark attacks in the USA. There's just sharks and forests. Look, Mom, Europe. Explorer 1. What should we call this newfound land? Explorer 2. I have an idea. Let's call it Newfound Land. You just stole my idea. Mixed Chad plus Virgin Islands and created this new country called Virgin Chad. When you take Google Maps seriously. Okay, well, it's telling me to drive through a lake. Maybe it's a secret passage, you know? You start doing it and the river will part, kind of like Moses. If you ever feel lonely, remember there are 62 people living in the middle of nowhere in a city called Adamstown. At first I was like, but then I was like, yep, that's what time does. Dudes be like, I hate country music. My brother, where else are they supposed to make it? I will not be visiting due to the workers that died constructing these stadiums. Wow, beautiful buildings. Somewhere in the Balkans, in Napoli, Italy. We've got Wales definitely here, and Wales probably out here somewhere. I don't think people fully understand how big Texas is. It can fit the whole world and more. It's so big. In this triangle, ships and aircrafts disappear. In this triangle, young people, investments, happiness, and the future disappears. The Balkan Peninsula, the world, and a peaceful world. Yeah, but then these guys would start fighting each other. It's gonna happen. Why is country so? From Swedish Google. Oh, we're expensive. Sweden to France. Why are you gay? How long does it take to learn the official language of the European country? 12 weeks, English. 30 weeks, 24 weeks, 44 weeks. Good luck. Tanzania, Cosania equals Tanzania. Finally, Australia. Real Poles, delusional cosplayers. You hear that, Polish people? Delusional. You're not Polish. You're not Polish. United States average jeans color per state. How do you even get data like this? If you click through to the source, which is Reddit, you can see that in many cases, you don't need any data at all. You can just retitle a population map and delete your account when people ask for a source. Hope this helps. Can any of us defeat a dragon though? My country is so much better than yours. No, mine is better. Map of every recorded battle in history. It's missing the dot of me in the bathroom. Me getting my butt kicked in 4th grade. The 4 Europes, Germanics, Slavs, Romans, Hellenics. European summer vacation for broke Texans. London, Italy, and Paris. All in one state. Gods that guide you to the afterlife. Egypt, Europe, Greek, and Japan. Americans. I am traveling to Europe. The countries, UK, France, and Italy. Americans. Why are foreigners so interested in the US elections? US military bases. Map of Europe without cringe. What separates men from animals? The Adriatic Sea. On one side, civilization. On the other, Italians. Egg Europe. Which country are you eating first? I didn't even see UK in this. Oh, actually, I'm not sure. Philippines and Thailand. And divorced men over 50. Don't talk to me about the founding fathers not wanting DC to be a state, unless you also support Mega Virginia. Hikers. Hong Kongers. I love traveling in Asia. There are allegedly around 6.5 million Finns, right? That's out of 7 billion humans. That's not 9%. That's 0.09% less than a percent. Less than 1/10%. To put that another way, 99.9% of the planet are not Finns. How do we know this? Government censuses. Now, the best government censuses have a margin error of at least 1%. So Finns make up 0.09% of the planet, plus or minus 1%. In conclusion, there is a 50-50 chance Finland doesn't exist. Americans were asked to spot Iran on the map. Iran. 23% correctly identified Iran. Geography. A map drawn by a 6-year-old American. Europe, Russia, China, Italy, Egypt. Hey, this is pretty good for a 6-year-old. Penguin, Santa. Smart kid. Food from this region of the world. The worst culinary region in the world. Shut up. I made a solution for the US. Trump people can live in the right and Harris people in the left. German here. Yeah, don't do that. We'll cause problems later on. So we've got Denmark, Sweden, Faroe Islands, Norway, Iceland, Finland, Anland, Scania, Greenland. Greenland, what are you doing? You're tearing this family apart. Stay humble. Look at this Waffle House density map. Whenever you speak to me, remember that I live in the Waffle House tower and you don't. How much is rent? Wait, do you own the tower? We understand each other perfectly, but we are 4 different languages, bro. Trust me. I have no idea what the hell my neighbor is saying, but we all speak the same language, bro. Trust me. The African Renaissance Monument in Senegal. Larger than the Eiffel Tower and the Statue of Liberty. Things you don't see in mainstream media. This thing is massive. I think this picture better illustrates the size of that monument. Countries where you can drink and drive. 1897. Guys, we had it all and we lost it. God. Italy, but I darkened it and rotated it 90 degrees. Hungary. Then go get food. Map of Europe, but with the wrong font size. Population of the world. 7.9 billion, but Baby Shark got 10 billion? I betting the population's at least 20. They're just hiding it from us. Europeans shouldn't be allowed to talk about American politics if they can't name this state on the map. Egypt is the world's most rectangular country. Sierra Leone is the world's roundest. What's the dumbest thing you've done while in the mood? A girl asked me during the daytime, but I didn't have a smartphone with Google Maps, so I charted the course to her house on a huge town map I found in my parents' house. I was walking the streets for about an hour holding this huge map, trying to find my way. I felt like Bilbo Baggins. The entire coast of Bosnia, 20 kilometers. We need to let adults fight without catching an assault charge. Like, I'm talking about consensual fighting, not jumping people, hiding no weapons, none of that. Just going at it in the parking lot. That's called mutual combat. Check your state and city laws. Results may vary. Looking kinda dire out here. PvP areas. My grandma tried to guess the countries of Europe. This is what she said. She is very old. Please don't make fun of her. Wait, how old is your grandma? Is she like 400 years old? Hispania, Britannia, Gothia. What? Number of Super Bowl wins by country. 52 wins, 0 wins. USA's the best. Arkansas is a landlocked state, but you can travel south to every state that it borders. Survey results. Who will you be supporting in the World Cup? You guys gotta start supporting UK. It's coming home. I had seen this before, but it's always a hoot. The next time someone says it's just a short drive across town, show them this map of Houston. The bluish outline around it is Connecticut. Did you know Africa is big enough to fit every single member of the Beatles all at once? Not if you make this picture bigger. The United States and Canada at the same latitudes as Europe. Just to show you we mean business. Here's your precious flag upside down. Flag emojis in order of popularity. As per official Unicode statistics, travel agencies in Eastern Europe be like, come see the building. 1 in 2 Europeans can't name this state. Asia. And Asia, according to some people. They aren't wrong, that is some of Asia. Not all of Asia though. A map of the Atlantic Ocean during the Ice Age, when global sea levels were 300 to 400 feet lower. Europe, if the sea level rose 100 meters. Okay, well, if this happens, this might be my last video, guys. I'm dead. Map of places where taxation is theft. Yellow is theft. Driving from Singapore to 60% of the world's countries. Couldn't you say the same about all the other countries too? Right? Where it ends up? Driving from the United Kingdom to 60% of the world's countries. Australia's dingo fence, the world's longest fence. This separates Australia and wild Australia. If you go past that fence, you're gonna see some crazy animals. Even bigger than what is photographed. Breaks a glass bottle. Who wants to fight? Accidentally cut someone. Are you okay? This post is so Canadian. I live in Texas. You're definitely Canadian. I'm not Canadian. One of us. What is going on? One of us. One of us. Someone just got Canadianized. Ever wondered how big Australia is? We know Australia's big. I didn't know it was nearly as big as US though. That's crazy. The moment the USA picked the left flag over the right one, the entire nation project was cooked. Wait, that was gonna be the US flag? I kind of like the one on the left, or I won't lie. But it's still cool. Range of bears. No bears in the UK. They're so cute. Come to the UK, guys. We welcome you. Remember when the world was freaking out over Australia's weather last year? Meanwhile, in Australia, well, this is what it looks like now. Without us, you would still be worshipping the sun. Dude, the sun is real. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Finland breakfast, hot coffee with vodka plus 1 cigarette. A 200-foot tsunami versus the UK. It's fine. I'd be in a really tall building. I'm also a strong swimmer. Need a map of Europe? Why not Zoidberg? This Lego map is too cool. Easiest Lego thing to build. Sydney has regained its position as Australia's biggest city after extending its boundary to include Melbourne for all the city people that have never seen a cow's nest. This isn't talked about enough, but cows do lay eggs. Who would win? An entire continent? 2 countries that hate each other. Why doesn't Czech just take Slovakia and form a new country named Czechoslovakia? Are they stupid? If English-speaking countries were a family, the parent, the neglected kid, the weird kid, the popular kid, the good kid, the close one. If you put Alaska on top of the continental United States, a lot of people would die. A lot is an understatement. Imagine that just randomly happened. Like USA would spawn on top of UK and I'm just like about to die. Yeah, it's over. Change my mind. This is the best map projection ocean. It retains shape well. Most distortion is over the sea. Distances largely intact. Easily understood. What are your thoughts? Physics, maths, geography, biology, chemistry, geologist. Where Roman coins have been found, there needs to be more in the UK. More! Only come into existence in 1732. Take the same name of a country thousands of years old. Have a GDP almost 10 times larger. Force everyone to think of you when they hear the name Georgia instead of the country. Railway map of Antarctica. Railway lines, stations. My theory is that they're underneath. That's why they made this meme. But they're not saying it because they were killed mid-meme. Best gun in Canada. I needed this clarification. Great Britain, United Kingdom, and the British Isles with Ireland. Cousins by faith, lovers by choice. So we've got Iceland all the way to Ireland. And there's actually tiny, tiny islands in between, which are called Iceland, Ireland, Iceland, Iceland, Ireland, 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 Iceland, Ireland. Official languages in Spain. Socially acceptable Canadian provinces to name your child after. Wait, did people do this? Yes, what? Maybe if you're French, only for twins. Labrador. Rick and Morty doesn't recognize Kosovo. I don't recognize that place either. What people think Mexico is like versus Mexico in reality. New password, geography degree, weak. New password, geology degree, strong. 2% of Australia's population lives in the yellow region, and they haven't checked since they made the dingo fence. 2% is 0%. The Romance language family tree. Latin, classical Latin, Vulgar Latin, continental. It goes down a lot. That's why a lot of languages are similar. To an extent, especially if they're in Europe, or like the same area. Japan, 1999. And Italy, 2006. Redesigned their flags. What, redesigned? Is that a word? Past, present. They made them more vibrant. 15. Antarctica's weird time zones. Flag of Czech Republic. You've got a lot of Czech Republic in the flag of Czech Republic. Top 10 things that will happen when Queen Elizabeth dies. What, Big Ben explodes? This didn't happen. Most amazing top 10? You lied. Every single county. This is a once-in-a-generation winter weather event. Every county in Texas is under a winter storm warning from the NWS. Nikki won Texas! South Africa. Yes, it is a country in Southern Africa. The world split into 10,000 equally populated sections. Humans 100,000 years ago. Me hungry. Me hunt mammoth. Humans today. Why food delivery slow? Why is blank country so? Why is Iceland so safe? Why is Poland so Catholic? Why is Italy so bad at rugby? The red and orange areas have the same population. Some animal couples trying to continue their species. A National Geographic cameraman just watching. You will be remembered by history for winning more battles than any other country, for bringing Europe to its knees 5 times in a row, for surrendering to Germany in World War II. Do you ever realize the US should be divided like this? Northwest, northeast, southwest, southeast. But it's actually more like this. Northwest, west, midwest, south. What? Northeast? How it started versus how it's going. Google Trends data used to determine every state's favorite Mario character. Yoshi. Hell yeah. I love Yoshi. Love Donkey Kong too, but I love Yoshi. Hunger Games districts maps have been released. What district is everyone in? District 11 would wipe the floor with any other district. The Netherlands at natural sea level. Map of Europe according to EU. €1. Average age of moving out from parents. I think this has changed a lot. When was this made? Go ahead, die. The gay cemetery. Dictators when naming their countries. Democratic, republic, free. Peoples. Geography teachers looking for a picture to use in their PowerPoints. Difficulty of understanding Spanish accents. Easy, normal, hard, very hard. Is that even Spanish? Swedish prison, American prison, North Korean prison, British prison. The actual world and the world in history class. The last few centuries of popes. The Netherlands, but Holland is Tom Holland. Naming your country after the people who inhabit it. Naming your country after a translation of your country's name. Having multiple names for your country based on the ruling dynasty, but then settle on the name of your first dynasty. Naming your country after an animal who went extinct on your continent 9 centuries before your creation as a kingdom. We really fumbled the bag during New Zealand's flag redesign referendum by not ratifying this wonderful candidate. Territories where Polish is the official language in the year 1670. Italy bad. No, we have the best country, but I like Italy. I actually really like Italy. I want to go back to Florence. Where did the world's 1 billion cows live? Today I learned Melbourne is closer to Antarctica than it is to Darwin. Geography YouTubers looking at population density maps, border disputes, partially recognized states, enclaves and exclaves, and strangely shaped borders. I can milk you. The boundary between Scottsdale, Arizona, and the Salt River Indian Reservation. 40 degrees in Europe, 40 degrees in the Middle East. Missouri has 2 major cities, and they both look like they are desperately trying to get out of the state. Does anyone know what this flag is? Unintuitive triangle. Portugal is as far away from South Africa as from Chukotka. South America from this place is almost twice as far. Selling Alaska to US because it's just a useless tundra. The US finds gold there. How conquerors leave their mark. Most dangerous animal in each European country. What is a fro? I think they're saying a fox, right? I think this is like AI. Yeah, it's AI. Brown bear. Wait, there's bears in Spain? What? This changed my life. How circle with a radius of 5,000 kilometers centered on Paris looks, according to the Mercator projection. Great Britain, Greater Britain, Greatest Britain, Ultimate Britain. There is a part of Mount Everest known as the Rainbow Valley. It's named not because there are rainbows there, but because of the brightly colored jackets on the frozen corpses that litter the valley. Local news channel in Sri Lanka shows a map of USA and like Texas, New York, Florida, California. I think to the average person outside of America, this is how they see the country. Why is everyone from Texas, it seems? Genuine question. Why Texas? I know it's is that the reason because it's massive? Did you know in 1721, a Scottish woman was hung and declared dead? However, she woke up in the coffin on the way to the churchyard. The law said her sentence had been served and she lived another 40 years, known as Half-Hangit Maggie. She's a witch! I'm surprised they didn't just... Scientists used AI and machine learning to create treasure map to uncover 300,000 meteorites hidden across Antarctica. How Canadians see the world. Polar bears, Canada. Friends with nope, ex-wife. Friends. Should I do another video on just Canadians, like memes about Canadians? In Crete, Greece, at 4,000 years old, this is the oldest olive tree in the world. It's the same age as the Colosseum in Rome. Looks like it's been dying. I know it's not, but it's just so old. Today I learned that until the mid-20th century, golf clubs were not numbered, but had wonderfully funny names. Brassies, Niblicks, Baffies, Mashies, Jiggers, Spoons, and Cliques. Hey guys, wanna hear the 7 new slurs for British people I just came up with? I am the largest empire in human history. Why do Brits speak English, an American language, rather than speaking some European language? How geography students feel after writing, this leads to more development. 1 million times in the exam. The edge of space in low Earth orbit to scale with a map. Stack of pennies on the right represents the Kármán line, where space begins. It's 100 kilometers high, 62 miles. Left stack represents low Earth orbit, approximately 300 kilometers, 186 miles of altitude. A female middle school geography teacher starter pack, and high school, that would be secondary school for everyone in the UK, has a shelf of some kind of rocks. This hair, really sweet, so you worry when she raises her voice. Outdated map that's falling apart, 60 to 65. The hair is the only accurate thing. Our geography teacher... You know, she was not very good. I'm not saying I was a good student either. I'm sorry, but America has the best flag. All the others are just worse. America's flag is respectfully not even in the top 10 best flags. I will show you guys my favorite flag right now. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, it looks cool. I like it. Popular / best-selling artists by English county of origin. I love Prefab Sprout. The GTA 6 map is rumored to look nothing like those 2 maps below. Fake leak, here's the real one. Roman land conquered by Germanic tribes. Germanic land conquered by the Roman Empire. Map on left is post-collapse. If you manage to run across this line without falling into any of the adjacent states, they let you pee in the White House whenever you want. With just one straight line, you can cross the border between France and Belgium 11 times. Arriving in France once is enough. Why does Barcelona have an evil cousin? Badalona. A map of underwater earthquakes in the last 30 days, and no, he really gets around. Bigfoot report locations. I noticed he prefers to walk east. Bosnians. I want to swim. Croatia. No. Things I know about Brazil. Jungle. Jesus statue. The Jesus statue was in Rio, you uneducated swine, and they deactivated their account. Google Maps, literally using a camel. Geography teacher. Why are you laughing? Me. Nothing. Actually me. Guru York. This looks like a map you see in a video video game right before game over. When someone says they're going to see Australia in 1 week, the mountains are calling, I must go. We never call anyone. These wannabes just make stuff up to sound cool. Is the map of Europe on the Euro accurate? I don't remember this giant 2-shaped island. No, it used to be there. It actually just got covered by the sea. What games do tornadoes play? Twister. Americans. Why do foreigners care so much about our elections? US military bases. Outline of the world by mapping all lighthouses. USA and Australia fit together almost perfectly. Lovely work. Alger Island, also known as Big Land, is a small island. The first word of each national anthem in Europe. I always love this section of the map. Oh my god, Lithuania. Do you live in the Midwest? I don't know what's going on, buddy. The world, if it were only islands. US bagel, quality by state. Good. Not good. What did they do to deserve not good? Map of Europe, without the cringe. Map of Ohio. Soon to be Ohio. Upper Ohio. Lower Ohio. Map of all the churches in Poland. Map of all the Gregs in Britain. GPS map of a swimmer crossing the English Channel. Don't like our taxes? Then make your own country. No, wait, stop. The Four Horsemen of Geography. Hong Kong. Where is North Korea? Is it over here somewhere? Americans were asked to spot Iran on the map. If you know the solar system, America is like in the middle. Most famous celebrity from each US state. Most famous celebrity from Texas is Harambe. Please fix this map. The world versus a peaceful world. Hey, I'm dead. Map of places where taxation is theft. I think Kiribati just gave up when it came to name the cities. Banana, London, Paris, Poland. And they replied, fine, you're not invited. I'm starting to think that maybe Europe isn't just that big. Fun fact, you can walk in a straight line from Madrid to Shanghai without hitting a major body of water. That's not a straight line, it's curved. People who need a plumber versus people who can fix their own sink. This is such valuable information. I thought Overwatch was adding an Ohio map for a second. Welcome to Ohio. Male and female life expectancy in France by department. So basically Belgium reduces life expectancy. If everybody in the world would have dropped out of school, we would have a much more intelligent society. Huh? This is odd. The map said I wouldn't encounter a dummy for another 2 miles. Map of all countries where the chief of police accidentally fired a 90mm grenade launcher in his own office. Let me guess. Rome. GeoGuessr. Correct. This is Ultimate Rock. Stop being small-minded. Another McDonald's? Seriously? Isn't the world fat enough as it is? I'm working towards world peace. Did you know 2 countries with McDonald's never go to war? McDonald's brings enemies together. I think I've used this in like a previous geography meme video, but why are femboys all located in Poland? 99% of Americans can't name this country. Is there a name for this island next to England? I don't know. Maybe. Haven't been taught it. Sorry. Melbourne is closer to Antarctica than it is to Darwin. Tell me what country you live in without telling me what country you live in. Me visits other country. Other country has different outlet. Me when your friend tags you in something fresh and spicy, so they're traveling 17 hours to go to nice. Scientists say, with increasing certainty, this map represents the US in 30 years if we don't reverse climate change. Okay, Obama was born in Hawaii, but is Hawaii a legal state of the USA? Not sure if troll or just very stupid. Did you know in October 2016, an earthquake that struck central northern Italy was so powerful that it cracked a mountain? Map of every recorded battle in history. My ancestors seeing this map. My friend, why are you screaming? It's just the map of Sanoa Underground. The map. The entirety of Poland can fit into Texas. 50% of Canadians live south of the red line. When everyone makes fun of you for switching sides, but at least you didn't finish the war split in 2 or atom bombed. Laughs and spaghetti. 44 years ago today, or maybe not today, but when this meme was made, Mountain St. Helens became active after 123 years. She replied, still active. What about South America? Is that just America or South Canada? It's been a while since I've looked at a map, but I'm pretty sure that's not how South America is connected. 250 million years ago from now, scientists project a new supercontinent to form, Pangaea Utama. Europeans give Americans attitude for not knowing geography. But how many of these states do you recognize? Another map that doesn't include Bajuki Island. Where is Bajuki Island? This is so unsettling. It looks like a whale. I've always wondered how this works. Mind blown. Ryanair flight landing in Catania with an interesting holding pattern. Really enjoyed my work experience with Ryanair this week. Wales looks like a man in a hat pointing at Wexford. Or an evil pig. I see the pig, not the man. My country installed hand sanitizers on elevators so infections wouldn't spread from the buttons, and less than an hour later, someone stole it? Bro. To the world. We do exist, so please stop forgetting us on maps. Sincerely, New Zealand. A map of the world, but it's just the time zones. They done geomandered time. Map of African countries I've visited. I've been in. I plan to go to. Person A. Where's the best place to be during an earthquake? Person B. In a car or under a table. Me, an intellectual. Hunger Games districts maps have been released. Which district is everyone in? District 11 would wipe the floor with any other district. Using map directions with Vision Pro is actually amazing. They should make a smaller version of this you can just hold in your hand. A map of every country in the world using a MMDD year date format. Red, countries use that format. White, countries that didn't land on the moon. An accurate map of Korea. Capitalism means light pollution and no rest. Look at how people get a good night's sleep in the non-capitalist zone. Public transport in my country versus public transport in European countries. Every other country. Let's put famous persons and buildings on our money. Japan. Every open world game's northern part of the map. A world map without place names except for Bhutan and Greenland, which are labeled in the wrong places. Thank you. I needed to see this today. Convection currents exist. Tectonic plates. What to do when someone says that geography is just coloring in maps and capital cities. Step 1 of 3. Jam your thumbs into their eye sockets. Who would win? A cohort of skilled geography students. One shady boy. Hey, you know what? In history, you're my queen. In geography, you're my world. In biology, you're my heart. In chemistry, you're my oxygen. In maths, you're my solution. And in physics, you're my gravity. In real life, you're my brother. Guys, there was a drive through in ancient Rome. Finding out this alone is worth the cost of my masters in history. Rolls up to the window. Yeah, give me a number 5 combo. A map of the UK, according to Americans. So everywhere is London for you guys. Really? My life goal is to turn the whole map green. States where I have not pooped. States where I have pooped. Wait, that makes no sense. You've already committed. You mean you want it to be all red? What? Japanese stereotypes of Europe. My favorite one is probably England. Bad food. Ireland, very green. And Italy, mafia. Europe, if sea levels rose by 100 meters. Yeah, I'm definitely dead. A map of Europe drawn from memory. Oklahoma, good Lahoma, bad Lahoma. Countries with the virus. Greenland is infected, everyone. Earth just lost its best defender. This is America. This is USA. Learn the difference. Pentagon, octagon, om nom 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 gon. Pac-Man, for those who failed geography. USA and Russia, you really want to fight, right? Okay, but do it this way. Not this way, please. The 60-acre Cool Patch Pumpkins corn maze in Dixon, CA, is so big that people routinely call 911 for help getting out, even though they have a map that details every twist and turn. Jamaica becomes the first country to make K-pop illegal. Jamaica was a hero. I just couldn't see it. Today I learned that Hoover Dam is expected to be one of the last remaining visible structures from our species, and it contains a star map that, if no other means were available, could be used to determine the exact date which Hoover Dam was completed. We could have just chiseled in the date on it. It's not some Stone Age creation. Great Britain versus Greater Britain versus Greatest Britain versus Ultimate Britain. How did I fail my geography test? Also me. Trump cuts US aid to 3 Mexican countries. The history of left-handedness people. I don't think that's not. Why has it gone up? A map of Africa made by John Kerry in 1805, showing the mountains of Kong, completely made up because he didn't want to explore anymore, was official on every map for at least 100 years. Respect my opinion. Their opinion. The solar system, I guess. Sun, Mercury, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, Okay, I get the point. I want you guys out of my country by tomorrow morning. But this is Japan. Every country in the world belongs to America. Possible bug? Sun logged into his world and found a large group of trees with no top, plus illumination with no source. New players, old players, geography fact. It is predicted that most, if not all, of the Maldives will be underwater by the end of the century. When will the UK learn that they are puny little ants in which need to be crushed? Where's that post where the British person was like, oh yeah, I only get to see my dad 2 to 3 times a year because he lives so far away. And the person asked, oh no, how far away is he? And the British person said, 75 minutes. It literally takes about 20 minutes to get from Wales to Bristol. That's a reasonable question. Do you understand geography? Leave Europe alone, you colonizers. Kansas. Empire State Building, ex Star Wars. I hope this terrifies a random drunk New Yorker stumbling through Midtown tonight. When you get consistently rated as one of the happiest places on earth because all the sad people keep ending themselves. I hate it when these things fall apart, especially the top. I hate when a sandwich is, oh man, when sandwiches fall apart, it's my worst day. One of the most insane moments in cinema this millennium. Peter would run. Is it real or is it cake TikToks like the Navy? World map, but it's all New Zealand. I'll never be able to get over this map. There's so much going on. Female hotness index. Beauty is subjective. How is this? How do you even make a statistic like this? Because this is wrong. Map of states ending in Kansas. What about Wyoming? Oh, wait. Hawaiian language distribution in the United States. Places Johnny Cash has visited based on his song, I've Been Everywhere. So he lied. Can't decide on a selfie angle? Bro, just upload your whole face texture map. I can't believe we really used to print out 4 pages of MapQuest directions and travel the streets like pirates following a treasure map. Suns. A friend asked me to turn the sun into sands as a joke, but there it is. Your map looks like Hulk wearing jeans running towards you. I am now just realizing that the map is supposed to be secretly resembling Peter Griffin's head. Holy. No, it doesn't. You're just insane. World map in Nendo sources. Inaccuracies due to fundamental shift. Drinking in America, drinking in Britain, Australia, in Canada, and in Ireland. Super Bowl wins by country. In an alternate universe. National Geographic cameraman cuddling. The cow, waiting for them to do the deed. This is why it's important to study geography, my child. I can't believe Leonardo DiCaprio yelled, "I'm on top of the world," from the Titanic, a ship that was at sea level, the scientifically lowest altitude in the world. He was nowhere near the top. He was literally at the bottom. What an idiot.
The lowest altitude is actually below the sea in the negatives scientifically. This is why it's important to study geography.
My husband purchased a world map and then gave me a dart and said, "Throw this, and wherever it lands, that's where I'm taking you when this pandemic ends." Turns out we're spending 2 weeks behind the frid. Random country finds oil. America, we can take it from here. Student, leaves class and travels to a different country. Geography teacher, I'll allow it. I was home for Christmas and my parents cooked a beef tenderloin. I said, "Man, Budapest is going to love this." They asked who Budapest was. I said, "I named my stomach Budapest because it's the capital of Hungary." And that's when they stopped calling me son. Studying geography. This is fine. More death, climate change, death, constant human rights violations. When I was on vacation in Denmark, I heard this song, and I was instantly in love with the Danish language. Greetings from Holland. You say greetings from Holland, but your name is Dutch girl. Fail. You idiot. People from Holland are Dutch, and their language is also Dutch. Wow. My heart belongs to 3 countries and 3 continents. I know that feeling. It's like that for me with 2 countries and continents. Same here. 2 countries and 4 continents. Raphael, how is it 2 countries and 4 continents? South Africa, now shaped like South America. The world ain't gonna end, cause if it did, the country Hawaii would have sunk by now. You stupid. Hawaii is a state. No, it's a country. It's near Africa. I know my economics, okay? Did you even go to school? Cross-country skiers, looking like musical notes. A map of the United States. If it was an Oregon donor. There's a tornado warning out. 2, technically. So of course I went for a walk outside to see if I could spot it. Never have I seen so many of my neighbors at one time. When there wasn't a fire show or a picnic, I am often seized by the fatal American need to have a pretty good time. National animals of European countries. I like how every other country is kinda cool, but UK is just a British bulldog, bruh. Looking at an upside down map of the USA has blown my mind. Makes you see things you wouldn't have noticed before. Ah, there's a mosquito in my room. What is that? It's quick. It just, ah! That's really quick. I thought it nearly just tried to get on me. Tried killing it, but I didn't know that we had 52 states. I thought it was only 50, and I just found out that we're about to have 53 because Obama's going to make Puerto Rico a state. Damn, they're gonna have to legalize the devil's lettuce this year. Wow, lol, but there are only 50. No, because Alaska and Hawaii are considered states now, so that's 52. How do you politely tell your visitor that it's time to go home? If you're from the Midwest, you just say, "Welp," really forcefully and slap your knees with your hand, then stand up. Other Midwesterners will recognize this signal and say, "Suppose we should head out." Now introducing the Texas Chartisserie Board. People really be telling me that I am a privileged white American, and flip the script and call me an illegal border crossing for moving to the US from Sweden. I swear that some people would be better off not having the ability to think. Sweden is just a part of Germany, you idiot. Go back to geography class. Okay, they just got racist. Here it is on the map, you absolute cabbage. When you are very very weak in math. Charles King, the former king of Liberia, holds the Guinness World Record for the most fraudulent election ever. He won the 1927 election with 234,000 votes in a country with 15,000 voters. There is a scratch and sniff map of the United States. What does your state smell like? I'm from New Jersey, and I don't want... Does New Jersey stink? Well, okay, you guys probably know... Well, from the... I'm asking the Americans, the people who really know geography here, I guess. What state smells the worst, would you say? But we have to all collectively agree on it on the comments. So I assume the comment with the most likes has to be right. Don't say London. Australia explained for Americans. I didn't create this masterpiece. It is accurate. Texas, but Fremantle is Austin. And Broomy is that town from Friday Nights. What are they even saying? Florida. Crocs/Gators. This should be obvious. Ohio, these places. New Mexico, New York, California. Okay, I'm not American. Hey, if you guys feel like your map of your world is terrible, just remember, Togahashi literally took our continents from our world and rearranged them for his map for Hunter x Hunter. Garbage can versus trash can. In the United... I don't even know why I turned my neck because I heard my neck just click there. I don't know if you read that as I was reading. Well, if you heard that, what am I even saying? But yeah, my neck cracked. I thought I fucked up my neck because the other day I was at the gym and I was working out and all of a sudden I had a really stiff neck. Now randomly in the day I get really stiff neck. So I was checking, but I don't. So it's fine. I'm literally schizophrenic. British English or American English, which is taught in schools. Now I can finally say with 100% certainty, when I sometimes say a word like bath,
It's not bath.
it's bath. Americans! Or like water.
Water. It's not water.
Oh wait, someone's knocking on my door. Oh no, it's an American! World history be like, we've got Europe, Asia, and North America. How much coastline we could surround with the Great Wall of China, the Great Wall of Europe. I asked random Germans on the street to point to Germany on the map. How are you living in Germany but you don't know where Germany is? Pears grown in Argentina and packed in Thailand, then sold in America. That is a crazy journey for just some pears. The Pacific Ocean is so vast, it could hold 16 Polands. I have a plan. You want to switch Italy and Florida? Americans were asked to locate United Kingdom on a world map. They're not wrong, their timing is just a little off. I like how some people just decided to put it in the ocean. Maybe they want us to drown. Imagine being dragged into a world war for the 3rd time in a row because something happened in this circle again. How Earth will look like with current international borders in 250 million years. Yes, Scotland is finally free of the English. Why does England look like that? Looks pathetic. Imagine how cheap merch shipping must have been on Pangaea. I wish we kept it. Kind of feels a bit scary with that much water around, you know? Sweden, I want a bridge. Denmark, I want a tunnel. This is the world's longest continuous road that a person can walk on. There is a white couple somewhere ready to tackle this. Gambia, I want to make new friends. Senegal, no new friends for you. This machine is useless. They're looking for treasure, gold coins, treasure chest, doubloon. Are you a pirate? Where can I buy a gun in America? There are gun stores everywhere. What the Great Pyramid of Giza would have looked like when it was first built. Damn, it was cool. Looked beautiful. Love to slide down from the very tip. You know what I mean? If Poland versus Mexico was broadcasted on Netflix, when someone asks why history is so Eurocentric, countries that have been under European control, most countries. Fish map, it's a fish map. This is what fishies have in their home. When a map maker didn't know what was out there, she says, he might just plop some creature into the map to signify. I don't know what's here, but it could very well be a dangerous... Sorry mate, you're gonna die from a creature, but we're not sure what creature, but it could be this thing. This is your monthly reminder that 145 million people live on this island. What the hell kind of typhoon is some freaky typhoon? Don't get anywhere near me with that thing. If you had to get rid of one European country, which would it be? As an Englishman, I'm obliged to say France. As a Belgian, France. As a German, France. As a Spaniard, France. As a Dutchman, France. As an Italian, France. Territories of modern Ghana. Territories of Ghana Empire. What the hell happened here? Map of the United States if it were colonized by Britain. You're approaching new levels of terrible. Bravo. Tornado warning continues for St. John the Baptist Parish, LA. Population of 2, just text them, bro. Drop them a call. If you ever feel useless, remember that Mongolia has a navy. Meanwhile, the Mongolians, the ancient Egyptians did not build their monuments randomly. Coincidence? I think not. Euros give Americans crap for not knowing boring geography, but how many of these states do you know? Oh yes, I know the state of McDonald's. Map of Roman air bases in 2nd century AD. People often think China is huge, but it's actually smaller than Florida. If I stop posting, you know what's happened, send help. Most hated countries. Would love to see some of these countries try to mess with US. You're not helping America's image with that statement. You're telling me Americans don't know what country this is? Really? Gator population in the United States. We are expanding north. By 2025, there will be gators in Maine. Mark my words. Europe at night. Like how Scotland is just off. Map of Europe, but the longer you look, the more you realize how messed up it is. What's going on with the UK? What even goes on here? You're a British man. It's like a 4-hour drive. Just go find out. 4 hours is a long drive. Map of Europe 13 million years ago. Did your country exist 3 million years ago? Mine did not. I've spent years gathering this information and it's finally ready. Vampire Europe versus Werewolf Europe. I love being a vampire. I love blood. Sea level rise 60 meters. Imagine God does this. I finally figured out how we can get rid of Florida. As long as you live in the Gainesville rhombus, you'll be just fine. Went to walk my dog and I ended up in an AI generated landscape. Looks like a video game from the early 2000s. Flag of Ukraine, but I added an elephant because I like elephants and God likes elephants. I love elephants. They're so compassionate. A world map without countries with over 100 million people. I suffered this, now you have to. Chile, rolled up for convenience. Dried chili. This is cruel and not funny. Chile only uses this position when defending itself from predators. Whoever took this photo obviously put Chile in a stressful situation for likes and follows. Please stop liking this. It's an error. My wife's AirPods are stopped in the hotel town, but it's an error, right? What? No. This is how it's always looked. Why don't airplane pilots fly in a straight line? Are they stupid? Swedish colonial empire. You know, I'm something of a colonizer myself. Most unserious generation ever. Getting mocked by a hurricane. Calling the USA America. What's an incredibly American thing that Americans don't realize is very American? This is America and this is USA. Which of the 10 largest cities by population is closest to you? Cairo? This is what a terraformed Mars would look like. No way. Looks too blue. I had a dream last night that there was a massive global conspiracy hiding the fact that the United States was actually shaped like this. Top Texas, secret China. Florida, secret Florida. Real Florida. Is Florida that important? USA if water levels rose 800 meters. So most people would be cooked. Comparing the Roman Empire's size at its peak within the USA, America if it was good. Hidden flags in South Africa. It's got Italy, Monaco, Hungary, Indonesia, and Sierra Leone. Like if you miss Pangaea. I miss it so much. So much. Do Americans really know nothing about Canada? Americans, try naming 5 Canadian cities, please. London, Paris, Dublin, Berlin, Madrid. Easy. Geography. Bosnia haven't coast. Great English. Sorry for my English. It's my 5th language, and it's a very stupid language. America after each world war. Europe after each world war. Combat now. They're shooting, get down. Combat 200 years ago. Why aren't we shooting back? It's their turn, idiot. A flag map of Europe, but each flag is determined on which country they share the shortest land border with. Earth tour without leaving France. Is there a name for the island next to Britain? Those would be the uncivilized lands. Proper English name pending subdual royal accent.
Those would be the uncivilized lands.
US voters were asked to identify Ukraine on the map. Why are there so many dots in the water? Like, have they never seen a world map? 60% of the population of Iceland lives in this red area. What if instead of democracy, we had freakocracy? And instead of voting, whoever touched the most people became the leader. Russia didn't consider beer to be alcohol until 2011. It was previously classified as a soft drink. Alcohol for Russian people is straight vodka. Countries that celebrate independence from Poland. What if Britain sold Canada to the US in 1870? Mate who works all over Europe just posted this to our group chat. Their AirPods are in a different place completely. Well, they've got a massive head. 40% of the Greek population lives in the red area. GPS data from thousands of Dutch cars during the summer holidays. Isn't this information supposed to be private? I guess it is anonymous, so. Shrek Republic. Can't believe Shrek's your daddy? Are you green? Accurate. Axe nice is nice. Axe mean is nice. Axe mean is mean. Axe nice is mean. Australians when they can't believe something. No way. Okay, I have the worst hear me out imaginable. What? Person in my gas station talking to someone on the phone. We're in Ohio. Me knowing we're in Utah. We're here. This is Ohio. So that person was lying to someone over the phone then. Because I don't think anyone gets confused like that. Global obesity rates compared to America. Countries with lower obesity rates. USA. Countries with higher obesity rates. No data. So Greenland could have the most obese people in the world. Half of Australia live in the dark blue, and the other half live underground. Haunted houses by state. Ohio, are you okay? Isn't Ohio mostly like cornfields and it's just empty? Of course they want to feel some sort of emotion. What's your favorite fictional country? Australia is pretty cool. It's a bit too scary though. Rather go to Narnia. The Brandit Line, a definition from the 1980s, dividing the world into the wealthy north and the poor south. Welcome to Istanbul, where I work in Asia and live in Europe. Concentrations of castles in Europe. I thought UK had more castles, but I guess not, especially in Scotland. You can fit the entirety of Poland into Texas and still be able to drive around it. The Texas Amobia absorbs yet another unsuspecting Eastern European country. This is what happened to Yugoslavia. Norwegian flag taken down in US town after being confused for Confederate banner. Greeks 500 BC. My civilization is the most advanced in the world. 2020. I'm broke. Size comparison of Texas and Europe. We're driving 8 hours isn't a big deal. Yeah, but it's much easier to drive 8 hours in Texas than it is in Europe. The roads are different. Bangladesh has the same population as territories in the Green. The Green Sahara, 11,000 to 5,000 years ago. Greenland on maps, and Greenland's real size? I thought Greenland was massive. District 3 would straight up run it. District 3 famously tried to run it a while back, and it did not work out so well. Countries in blue have equal population with the countries in red. World map, but I really hate peninsulas. Does your county have McDonald's? Some places don't have a McDonald's. I assume those places which don't have a McDonald's is just like mostly empty though, right? On a world map, Greenland and Africa may seem identical, but in reality, Africa is 14 times bigger than Greenland. My friend and I were slam dunk drunk and made up new names for states. I present to you the United Staples of Americlap. T-Rex fossil discovery range. Everywhere but the UK, huh? The flag of Sweden. If Jesus died in I'm not sure why this would change the flag. What are the worst accents you've ever heard? In 5th and 6th grade, this was in the 70s, my best friend had a Greek father, a British mother, and spent the first 8 years of his life growing up in the Bronx. Never heard anything like it before or since. The other day, a French guy asked me if I was from Colombia. I told him Mexico, and he said, close enough. This is how wrong he was. How many spouses must be present at wedding for marriage to be valid? Mutuals, we have all just gotten legally married in Montana. Has anyone else noticed how Wales looks like a man in a hat, pointing accusingly at Waterford? They're sending me here tomorrow. Death pool discovered at the bottom of the sea that kills everything immediately. A phone map of Ireland. When you're not involved in World War II, but still get $250 million from the Marshall Plan. Wasn't expecting that reaction, but okay. Countries that Simpsons have... Wait, they visited the UK? Where is this episode? Build your own submarines. Buy your submarines from other countries. Buy your submarines with debt you are unlikely to repay. Let your allies dock their submarines in your base and then steal them. Isle Royale, the largest island on Lake Superior, has a lake which has an island, which has a pond, which has a boulder. So the boulder becomes the largest island in the largest lake on the largest island in the largest lake on the largest island in the largest lake in the world. Cleopatra lived closer in time to the moon landing than she did to the building of the Great Pyramids. Yeah, I must be really stupid because I thought she was around with the pyramids. Literal meaning and origin of country names in Africa. Okay, I'm looking at all of these and my favorite one is probably River of Prawns or River of Rivers. Venus discovered in 1610. Uranus discovered in 1781. Antarctica discovered in 1820. Taxation without representation. You got lucky, traitors. We beat you up. You suck. We know. South America elevation tile map. Dominant eye color. What color are your eyes? My eyes are blue. Poo Poo Creek, Ohio to Poo Poo Point Trail, Washington. It only takes you 36 hours driving. Or 784 hours walking. Size comparison between Chile and Brazil. The original color of the Statue of Liberty was brownish gold and over time it turned green due to oxidation. If all World Cup groups unified into new countries, which would be the most stable? I think D. Depends what your definition of stable is. The most photographed places in the world. UK is on fire! Italy? I don't know Italy was that popular. It makes sense. Population of Japan in comparison to US states. Indigenous land, 7088 today. Old growth trees. Damn, this is cool. Surely I can't be the only one. No, you're not. I don't even get this. Be right back, laughing my butt off. The hell is a Texas bender? We bend propane and propane accessories. Kids in 2050 trying to study the 2019 to 2022 chapter of history for a test. America the Beautiful. Weather in America. Tag where you live. I'm in Hurricane Terra, the first and last country to celebrate New Year. All men's Olympic gold medal winners since 2000 in water polo were born in this area. It's gotta be something in the water. Map showing the extent of Earth's ice cap during the last glacial maximum 20,000 years ago. The world map if Australia and Russia swapped places. Typical color of post box. It's gotta be red. If everyone in the world stood this close together, they would take up this much space. Bro, can I copy your homework? Yeah, sure, just change it a bit so it doesn't look the same. Romanian flag and the Chad flag. Lawful good, neutral good, chaotic good, lawful neutral, true neutral, chaotic neutral, lawful evil, neutral evil, chaotic evil. Which one do you prefer? I just like lawful good. Two maps that will help you understand how the world has changed in just 52 years. More specifically, how the average number of children per family changed. This table lets people from Slovakia, Austria, and Hungary eat lunch together without crossing the border. The perfect dinner. There are only two sexes. Explain this. We've got Essex and Middlesex. And also Sussex. 10 bands of latitude with equal population. 10 bands of longitude with equal population. China's high-speed railway network overlaid on the United States. The 4 seasons on one Finnish island. I wonder if someone lives here. These sexuality gender typed flags are stupid, and apart from the gay one, no one knows/cares what they mean. That's the Welsh flag. Gender of the day, Wales. Japan looks huge if compared with the map of Europe. Before the Colombian interchange, there were no oranges in Florida, no bananas in Ecuador, no potatoes in Ireland, no coffee in Colombia, no pineapples in Hawaii, no tomatoes in Italy, no chocolate, poor Switzerland. Nice map of US counties. I am being held hostage. 99% of Americans can't name this country. Try it, Americans. I bet you can't. Countries with smaller population than Java. Where is it against the law to play music in a taxi? No awkward silence, right? Let's bond together. Map of the Midwest. Each day we inch closer to national dominance. Under the ice Antarctica is still peak RPG world design. They don't make them like this anymore. Where would you guys live? I think I would go to the technologically advanced isolationists. I'm not really in the mood for an evil faction or with some dragons. South Africa government says it will print more money and make everyone rich. First time? Global distributions of penguins. Australian. I've lived in Australia my whole life. Australia. Well, that's still living in Australia. The Mediterranean Sea overlaid onto the USA. New US regions just dropped. Dunkin' is in Dunkin' Donut? Or someone pointed out that the UK is an oversized version of the Philippines, and I can't stop thinking about it since. I thought limescale was a mystic concept invented by big businesses to sell more bathroom cleaning supplies. Then I moved to England and discovered this particular boogeyman is very real. That's due to water hardness, as shown below. Yeah, I'm in a hard water area. It is not fun, guys. It is very, very unfun. I always have to wipe down my shower after using it, or the bath. Geographical midpoint of Europe. If you make a physical copy of geometrical figure of Europe, it can be balanced on a needle placed at this point. Most common origin of immigrants in France. What flag is that? The stars. America as seen by Europeans. This is pretty true. I think people more think about New York though, but yeah, Texas as well. No, we actually know geography. I don't know where the states are. I know roughly some states, maybe like 3 or 4. Having a war song about fighting for your country and people. Having a war song about flowers. Having a war song about how you like your onions cooked. How European borders are decided. Those people over there speak my language. Give me that land. Those people over there speak my language. Give me that. Well, I just want to be bigger, so both of you give me it. How the US-Canadian border was decided. 49th parallel. And the UK is actually small. And to me it feels so big. It's not the only thing. The Milky Way over Easter Island. Okay, I really want to go to Easter Island. I might just do it. I might just go. A graph of America's favorite candies. One more reason to hate Texas. According to Dynamical Systems, psychiatric disorders can be seen as energy landscapes with peaks and valleys. OCD has steep valleys where neural activity gets stuck, while schizophrenia has shallow valleys that let neural activity roam too freely, connecting unrelated ideas. 1985 versus 2016. It is crazy how quickly we've just kind of developed. We have developed very quick, and it's only going to get quicker. I'm predicting flying cars by 2090. We'll have flying cars. I guess if it's practical enough. 1954. We were just tired of World War II. How could you lose a war against rice farmers despite being one of the biggest colonial powers? 1975. We just left. We didn't lose. Saying the same thing. I just thought it was cool. I found this meme as I was getting a bunch of memes for this video. Guys, it's 1 in 96,000. Oh my god. I've unlocked gold in Italy. How do I go here? I wonder if there's a person in the world who has seen more memes than me. Because I've seen a lot of memes. I'm talking thousands a day. Because I know there are companies which, have meme channels or meme pages. But as an individual, I don't know. How Google Maps sees Japan and how you see Japan, it's a seahorse. I haven't seen a seahorse in real life. I might have it at an aquarium. Maybe. Can I feel bad going to aquariums and zoos? Feel bad for the animals? Unless it's like a rescue center. Cities with population 69,000. Nice in France. This is true. I will eat my microphone and stop this video. This professor could not find a projector and drew the map of the world himself. He is too powerful. Oh, thank God. It was just a bad dream. Meme land. Finally, I found my home. Whoa, would you look at that? Someone better than me. No results. Bro, I will Connecticut you. Woman discovers PP-shaped island on Google Earth. The actual world. The world in history classes. Pyramids of Giza are not in some isolated faraway desert area, but right beside Cairo City. 30 people drew a map of the world from memory. The results were merged. Sea level rise, 60 meters. I finally figured out how we can get rid of Florida. Who the hell named the Sahara Desert anyway? Sahara is just the Arabic word for deserts. You named it the desert. Way to go, chai tea. I'll take European imperialists who never bothered to translate the local language for $200, Alex. Not many people realize how just big Africa is. China, North America, Russia, Earth, Milky Way galaxy. What if it was all just a... Come on, man. Then I wouldn't be alive. My parents split after they made me. I am a volcano. They are tectonic plates. Follow for more geological humor. I really hope the two people who just followed me aren't looking for geological humor, or you are going to be earth-shatteringly disappointed. This post is one of my best by a landslide. I've come to the conclusion that Americans don't actually know anything about Eastern Europe. They just kind of think of a big blob in between Italy, Russia, Turkey, and Scandinavia, filled with cold weather, mail order bribes, and really pale people. If I ever travel across Britain, this will be my route. People don't realize how big America really is. Wow, tag someone who didn't know this. This is amazing. A crate containing 28,000 rubber ducks was lost at sea in 1992. Subsequently learning a bunch of stuff about the tides and currents of Earth's oceans. This is what their path looks like. All the nations that have to be combined to be equal to Brazil's annual homicides. Where is the Frank Ocean? Farmer spends over 40 years growing a guitar forest to honor his late wife. A world map without countries with over 100 million people. Someone changed Drake's house on Google Maps, owned by Kendrick. What normal people see versus what colorblind people see. Map of Tesla charging stations, 1437 AD. Be prepared to meet Jesus outside. Did Uber Eats just threaten me? USA and Australia fit together almost perfectly. The eruption of Krakatoa in 1883 was the loudest sound in recording history. It was heard 3,000 miles away, traveling to a different country in a movie starter pack. USA, Mexico, India, Canada, Scandinavia/Eastern Europe, South America. Average cloud cover over the whole world in 2018. I've always scoffed at those, oh my gosh, Europe is tiny posts. But we just took the wrong exit driving back to our cabin, and now we literally ended up in Norway and decided to just stay for dinner. So yeah, this just happened again. What the hell? There isn't even a sign saying, welcome to Norway. You're just there all of a sudden. I could miss an exit and still be in my state for another 8 hours. Past the remote English channel, come on! It's not that bad. On a world map, Greenland and Africa may seem identical, but in reality, Africa is 14 times bigger than Greenland. We're eating at chicken. Chicken at chicken. Near the crossroads of woofing and fricking Austria. Bosnians. I wanna swim. Croatia. No. Femboy density map. Why does Poland have so many femboys? Joe is Biden? Damn, I meant Joe is president. Breaking news. Joe is Biden. The freaking bean melted. Authorities urge residents not to taste it. Of the 50 drunkest counties in the US, only 9 of them are outside Wisconsin. Landlocked states, provinces, and territories of North America. In Nebraska, it's illegal to talk about the ocean. Society of humans were pack hunters. Long Florida. Turbo Ohio. This post is indecipherable. Thank you. You are coming to Brazil. This is attractive. This is not. Real Earth has curves. Trump cuts US aid to 3 Mexican countries. Fox News is truly beyond parody at this point. Map of the US, but with panhandles. In grade 7, my geography teacher told me that Evian, backwards, is nave, and that it's really just tap water. And that was when I decided there is no good in the world, and the government lies. 5% of the world's population lives in the blue shaded area. 5% also lives in the red shaded area. 1 year anniversary of the world's wrongest infographic. The country's best and worst prepared for an epidemic. This is where it all went down. Tomato Town. Who would win? A subcontinent with 1 billion people and multiple independent states. A few islands that just want leaf juice. Australia's dingo fence, the world's longest fence. My parents telling me stories how they got to school every day. A flight from Tokyo to LA will depart in 2020, but arrive in 2019. America, hell yeah, we're gonna kill those hurricanes with bullets, America. PSA, Florida residents reminded not to open fire on Hurricane Dorian, and they have a little diagram. Bullets come back, don't shoot. In England, they drive on the left. In Portugal, we drive on what's left. Me, licking some rocks to determine it. Society, mineralogy professor. Europe, I am 1.80 meters tall. Nice, you're tall. America, dude, I have 6 feet. Cool. A man named Goran Kropp from Sweden rode his bicycle to Nepal, climbed Mount Everest alone without Sherpas or bottled oxygen, then cycled back to Sweden again. Americans, name every Canadian province. Hockey, Quebec. Totoro, Alaska. Syrup. Rio returned UK athletes rummaged through 900 identical bags to spot luggage. Mine's the red one. 1422 Paris map on top of today Paris. This is what it would look like if the southern cones of South America and Africa were swapped. South Afro-America. I'm Africa. Woke up at 3 AM delirious and extremely thirsty, but my water glass was empty, so I was like, I know exactly how to fix this. So I googled big water, and in my half asleep state, I was certain that would allow me to manifest a large glass of water in reality. Didn't work, but now I know there's a tower in Utah called Big Water. I can't believe he didn't cry during the Titanic. Did men even have feelings? The Aral Sea was an endorheic lake. 1986, left, and 2014. Right, no, it's gone. The lake's gone. What the Great Pyramid of Giza would have looked like when first built. The volcanic system beneath Yellowstone holds enough lava to fill 11 Grand Canyons, animals that live in volcanoes. How do you get to that point, bro? It's incredibly impressive. Practice. Handing off the planet to the next generation like. Despite all of our accomplishments, we owe our existence to a 6-inch layer of topsoil and the fact it rains. Farm Equipment Association going hard with the tourisms. My boyfriend made a promise to be that we would visit Paris and lock a padlock to this very bridge, throwing away the key. A symbolic gesture of our love and commitment. He is my soul, my life, my reason for fighting. That is Australia! Don't forget to update your Euro notes tonight. Americans when they drive for 4 hours versus European when they drive for 4 hours. Miley Cyprus. People in America. All cops are bad. No, there are good cops. Europeans. How the hell have they lasted this long as a country? Honestly. Where is it illegal to pee in the ocean? Not here, bro. Here. Is that Portugal? Explorer 1. What should we call this newfound land? Explorer 2. I have an idea. Describe world history in a few words. Knock knock. It's Europe. One of the funniest failures of US school system is the fact they are legally obliged to teach all the states, but they never actually show how big Alaska is. Like, I have actually had teachers tell me that Texas is the biggest state. We have all just convinced ourselves that Alaska is a small shrunken down thing on most US maps, and the people that know it's the largest state can almost never accurately describe how large it is. For context, here is a picture. What? This is the small country of Niue. Niue is the world's first Wi-Fi country. Niue also has $1 coins with Pikachu. What if you wanted to go to heaven, but God said, come to Brazil? Each 8th of July at this time, 99% of the world's population is experiencing daylight. This day should have a name, and it should be called a holiday. Poor Australia. Only 300 million BC kids will remember. I made that face when I read it. The volcano known as is the closest to what Icelandic city? Giant crack frees a massive iceberg in Antarctica, 20 times the size of Manhattan. It's that squirrel. I am from Bulgaria. Ubito Uchiha said, why? The earth is neither round nor flat. This is the true shape of the world. There are only 2 kinds of things in this world. Hell, bacon. North Dakota. So flat you can watch your dog run away for 2 weeks. When you realize Captain America's suit doesn't have 50 stars, so he's actually Captain Puerto Rico instead. Union Jack, but includes Wales. All men's Olympic gold medal winners. Since 2000, in water polo were born in this area. Russia tried to dig a hole through the Earth's crust in 1970. They reached 40,000 feet deep before they stopped. It is still the deepest hole humans have ever dug. Imagine you're getting jumped by flat earthers and one of them say, screw it, take him to the edge. Fun fact, this is a real threat used in the flat earther community. You can find out more information by, whoa, don't do that, no. Russia is Europe. No, Russia is in Asia. Have you considered there is literally nothing justifying Europe and Asia being 2 different continents in the first place? Have you seen that big mountain range recently? You're right, I forgot we arranged arranged our continents by mountain ranges. I had to look at my world map again. Did you just make this to be petty? Everything I have ever done has had being petty as the goal. The real regions of Europe, crystal clear tap water. Everyone eats dinner at 10 p.m. Slav squat. Brexit. How Europe is classified by the United Nations. Is this basically correct for Americans? The Deep South. The South. Sort of the South, not the South. Colorado is actually a hexahentagava, meaning it has 697 sides. People in the Dark Ages were uneducated, dirty peasants. The Dark Ages. Melting ice in Antarctica reveals new... No, that's a bad idea. That's a bad sign. I don't think American filmmakers realize how huge London is. Because sure, you have the London Eye and Houses of Parliament, but when you say London has fallen, what? So the Nando's in Catford is in flames? The Tesco in Peckham has descended into chaos. What? We have states bigger than your entire country. I don't understand the USA. All of your roads are straight and your cities look like they were planned using Excel. Everyone knows the only way to build a city is to wait until a bunch of tiny villages merge together over centuries and create a sprawling cluster hell of winding roads that make no sense and have no street signs and are impossible to navigate unless you've lived there all your life. Qatar is so hot, officials have installed air conditioning in outdoor Oh my god! Stay back, beast. Wow, that was 4 in a row. That has to mean something, right? Today I learned the first known case of dying from laughing involved the Greek man called Chrysippus, who, after giving figs to his donkey, cried out, "Now give the donkey a drink of pure wine to wash down the figs," had a fit of laughter afterwards, and died. Pretty funny, I guess. Had to be there. You guys all think that Canada is so innocent, but in grade 1, I had a geography teacher with 3 fingers, and he gave me a C because I pronounced Kenya differently than him, and when my mum reported it to the office, we found out he wasn't even supposed to be teaching at my school. He was literally some stranger who walked in. I'm having feelings about the Uffington White Horse again. So essentially, there's this cool horse drawn into the hills in England, made out of chalk, and it's like 3,000 years old. When your estimated time of arrival on Google Maps changes from 11:27 to 11:26, Lonesome Lake, Google Maps have you like this? This must be an Apple Maps burner account tweeting this. Greenland on maps versus Greenland's real size. America. Nice islands. Kingdom of Hawaii. Thanks. You're invited to statehood. They did it. Oh my god. They did it. I love the boreal forest. I love endless miles of trees and nothingness. How fast a rocket would have to go to leave every planet? Escape velocities for every planet in the solar system. Jupiter. Yeet. Ancient theater of Asclepieion. My friend and I were slam dunk drunk and made up new names for states. I present to you the United Staples of Americlap. Norb, Colina represent. Tag where you're from. I'm from upstate Noonyan. Carafenya for life. Woo, I'm from Virgin. I love being from the Florida Islands. Please note how most of the South knows what they are doing this week. Most Googled Thanksgiving recipes. Mashed potatoes, jello, green bean casserole, mac and cheese. Rocks that look like popcorn are found on beaches in the Canary Islands in the Atlantic. Daniel, the cooler Daniel. Diomede, big Diomede. A Dutch artist has created sculptures that walk using energy from the wind. Same place 2 days later. Respect, Japan. 2 days, that's all it took. Flight attendant. Is there a doctor on this flight? Dad, nudging me. That should have been you. Not now, Dad. Not asking for a geologist, are they? Dad, there's a medical emergency happening right now. Go and ask if licking rocks help. List of Swedish people. PewDiePie and Greta. Mensa Musa. Yo, pass the gold. Europe. You better not bring 256,000 pounds of gold on a pilgrimage to Mecca and make gold completely worthless for 10 years. Mensa Musa. Inflation. Who Europeans joke about the most? I think UK joke about Americans, and I think Americans joke about British people. Missouri has 2 major cities, and both of them look like they're desperately trying to get out of state. Watch drone crash into erupting Icelandic volcano. Not sure to take pens or crayons to geography lecture. You had one job, t-shirt. Asia. I just came upon some very good information. 6969 Cool Street is a real place, and it's located in Weedsport. At this location, the Love Shack. If you see a faded sign at the side of the road, I heard that by law, you need to turn on your headlights when it's raining in Sweden. How the hell am I supposed to know when it's raining in Sweden? Woman marries train station she's loved for 36 years and has mental what the f not me students. You mean to tell us that you geology majors get a degree for going on road trips, wandering around the forest, licking rocks, collecting little stones and drinking beer around campfires? Geology major? Yes. Top 5 things you should never do in Japan. Okay. What? How is this? Why? I'm literally speechless. Mom, why don't you go socialize with your neighbors? Your neighbors? How the European borders are decided. People speak my language, give me that land. They speak my language, give me that land. Well, I just want to be bigger, so both of you give me that land. How the US-Canadian border was decided. 49th parallel? 49th parallel. How much of the Earth's surface is covered in concrete? So, not a lot. How can anyone's head be this color? I'm not sure how comfortable I would be sitting across from that active volcano. Scientists believe that the function of zebra's stripes are to deter insects. So, a team of researchers painted black and white stripes on cows. They found that it reduced the numbers of biting flies landing on the cows by more than 50%. Petrified Forest National Park, Arizona. Calling it a forest gave us the wrong impression. The petrified trees are all laying on the ground, left there about 225 million years ago. Wow, looks like salami. There is a tribe in India that has learned to make living bridges out of ficus tree roots. The bridge takes 15 to 30 years to complete. Mature bridges stretch 15 to 250 feet over deep rivers and gorges, and can bear impressive loads, upwards of 35 people at a time. A girl in my geography class had to bring her newborn to class today. The baby started crying in the middle of our quiz. When she took him out to hold him, my professor insisted he wouldn't mind feeding the baby and rocking his car seat until she was done. Just had my first ever plum. This is so good. Oh, never mind, I think I ate part of the core. Is this like an apple? Do we not eat the middle? Oh, there's a pit. Bro, what? Very exciting night for me. Upper Paleolithic hunter-gatherers, around 50,000 years ago. I'm watching a British YouTuber's birthday stream, and an Aussie viewer sent in a comment saying, why was he born so beautiful? Why was he born at all? Because he had no say in it at all, which was received with confused existential horror. And this is how I just discovered that Australian happy birthday songs are not universal. Oops. I don't know why, but I think Americans don't realize how big the UK is. American customer. You're English, right? Do you know the bookshop between Wales and Bristol that has a lot of books in? Me and my head. Yeah, mate, I know that one. Classic. Love to pop down there on a cheeky break between work. What a dick. The continuous 48 states are almost 39 times the size of Great Britain. That's your answer. Is it not illegal to hold a veteran in custody? He's a US vet, not a Canadian vet. US vet, Canada vet, it's both USA. Bro, the hell, it's a different country. What? This image on the left is a galaxy taken by a previous NASA telescope. The image on the right is the same galaxy, but from NASA's new James Webb telescope. Science rocks. Most people live in the red, then the that is insane. They don't even have a color to describe how cold it's going to be. Midwest Arctic blast. If you can't handle me at my worst, then you don't deserve me at my best. I was talking to my boyfriend, and I was trying to describe a type of marine animal, and I couldn't think of its name, so I said, sea pancake, manta ray. Manta ray is the word I was looking for. Hey look, I found where you were born. Mistake Island. A mermaid is stalking my blog. It's a mermaid, and no one can convince me otherwise. It's a mermaid who works for the armed forces. Yo. Map of countries where it is illegal to eat the carpet of an airport. Why is it so funny? I didn't even include a close-up. I just put the whole map. My family's heritage. My family is from the Philippines. How many people would die if a meteor the size of USA hit USA? That's at least 4. Evening run. This activity is Christopher's longest run on Strava. Omnipresence. You know what this place needs? Giant triangles. That's what. I was on a car trip in California when I drove into Windows XP. Drive from Europe to the US. Russia proposes world's greatest superhighway. Get in the car. The continents can be rearranged to form a fire-breathing T-Rex. Fascinating cultural differences. Will the detective investigating your murder be sad? Sad and cold. Sad and wet. Sad and drunk. Attractive. One of my favorite geology facts is this. These diagrams are a lie. The mantle isn't yellow, nor is it orange or red or brown or grey or black. The Earth's mantle is made up largely of peridotite. The Earth's mantle is lime green. Mint chocolate chip. My proposal for a bridge connecting Alaska to Brazil. It's that time of the year again. Here we go. What's happening? Who would win? A whole Roman city. Some weird mountains. Too soon. It's been 1,937 years. I like the rat map even better. What is Alberta doing? We are constantly vigilant. Prime ministers have a low chance of being eaten, but it's never zero. Haven't eaten their prime minister. Have eaten their prime minister. I've never had a prime minister. No data. Average person eats 3 spiders a year. Factoid. is actually just a statistical error. Average person eats 0. Spider's George, who lives in a cave and eats over 10,000 each day, is an outlier and should have not been counted. Antarctic-centric worldview. Map of the world when the emperor penguins finally live up to their name. What pedestrians look like across Europe. It looks like everyone is walking away from Poland. A shark fitted with a GPS tracker drew a shark in the Atlantic. Feels right that if a shark could communicate with us, the main thought it would have to communicate is, I am shark. Mount Everest was the biggest tragedy of all. What kind of sick guy just drops a mountain on someone? Yes, thank you, Google. How did you know that the very first option I wanted was a Starbucks? That's 2,500 miles away. Good job, Google. Don't worry though, there's a traffic light. I was going to make a list of people that annoy me, but it was too long, so I just decided to post a picture instead. OMG, I'm in the same photo as this person. Ah, my hair looks terrible. Can we do it again? I blink. God damn it. Big looking head. Countries that have not declared war on birds. Countries that have declared war on birds. And last, heat map of Taco John's locations in the United States. Why is this so ominous? My proposal for a partition of France. This will benefit nobody at all and is completely useless. France 1, France 2. Romania, one of the poorest countries of the EU, builds a cathedral instead of a hospital. When Dracula is a constant threat, I would prioritize the cathedral rather than a hospital as well. I just died in a tornado. There was a tornado and it was like, swoop, now I have dead. So this is my town right now and those are the mountains. Just to clarify, I don't live in hell, even though it's 106 degrees and fire is everywhere. I made a map of what the United States would look like if Florida was really long. Ancient Greek geographer, Strabo's map of the known world. Bad work, Strabo. Stop the car. Pretty Boy Reservoir. You get there, and all the pretty boys look up from drinking from the reservoir and gallop away like gazelle. A world map without place names, except for Bhutan and Greenland, which are labeled in the wrong places. US state borders, but they are based off rivers and mountains. Get Europe. If you're not this dedicated to an April Fool's joke, don't post it. Your fake pregnancies are boring. On April Fool's Day, a man hauled 70 tires into the crater of a dormant volcano in Alaska and set them on fire, terrifying nearby residents into thinking the volcano was erupting again. Enter the lair of an enormous, ancient, predatory worm. Well, don't mind if I do. Welcome to Australia, where a high fire danger is the least of your troubles. The world before Columbus invented America. North America is a big fat dragon. Croatia is a small thin dragon. And Slovenia is a chicken. Census data is fascinating. United States, average jeans color per state. So has anybody else noticed that Hyrum looks exactly like Europe? It makes sense considering they're both cold and are constantly trying to retrieve lost pieces of themselves. Map of the world, but all countries are social distancing. A friend took this picture in Arizona. The meteorologists don't have a name for it. Seems to be high energy to be in a rainbow and a tornado. Ooh, torn rainbow. Map of a survey asking the world who they see as the biggest threat to world peace. Just gonna put this out there. I am always thinking of the map of mysterious disappearances versus the map of major American cave systems. France, United Kingdom relations. England, screw you. France, screw you. Local news channel in Sri Lanka shows a map of USA. Real. New state proposal. Megachusetts. Finally, arrival to Czechoslovakia. They really missed by not naming it Massachusetts. Big burger. Mini burger. Big soda. Mini soda. Laugh at this meme. That's a map of ancient Greece. This is honestly what every single post on Tumblr looks like to me now. Florida man pilot draws pee-pee with private plane flight path. Girls be like, I know a spot, then take you to the zone of death in Yellowstone National Park and murder you with zero legal consequences. Scientists have called this the perfect road trip. Just start in your state and follow the map. So who's in? They really said screw Kansas. Where is Frank Ocean? Incredible photo of the United Kingdom taken from the International Space Station. France is actually bare close in it. I could probably jump that. United States of America. This is the most useless map I've ever seen and I love it. I want to print it out and put it on my wall. Global automobile sales, 1571-80. Got a whole Waffle House wait staff brewing in the Atlantic. New state proposal. Florida plus? No. You can fit the entirety of of Poland into Texas and still be able to drive around it. The Texas Amobia absorbs yet another unsuspecting Eastern European country. This is exactly what happened to Yugoslavia. Why are people so obsessed about Texas 4? What? Texas 4, the most popular language studied on Duolingo in each country. The most popular language to study in Sweden is Swedish. Turbo, Ohio. Long, Florida. Society, if humans were pack hunters. This post is indecipherable. Thank you. Canada, can I have lizards? No. Is there a name for this island next to England? Not sure. Measurement system in each country. Metric, meters, grams. Imperial, inches, ounces. Liars who say they use metric but actually use imperial. The buried bodies of the iconic Easter Island Moai statues, built by people in the 1200s to 1500s. Regional names for Nestle water in the US. Know your enemies. What? Just learned about a building in London that is so poorly designed. It becomes a death ray that melts cars and creates a downdraft effect with wind so powerful that it knocks full-grown adults to the ground. Did you know? All the maps you've ever seen are totally wrong. The sizes of the countries are totally skewed. Hey, people who know astrology, I've been having a lot of feelings lately. Any planets I can blame that on? Earth. This is the small country of Nui. Nui is the world's first Wi-Fi country. Nui also has a $1 coin with a Pikachu. Tumblr, pack your bags. Look at how far away you would be from everyone you don't like. The strength of our ships can sail us there. They also have a red banana, which is pretty cool. Even though I don't like bananas, God created the universe somewhere around this area. In Chinese maps, Asia is in the center. Which nation is centralized depends on the map's origins. In Canada, our maps are cut through the Pacific, so we don't offend anyone. Sometimes I feel like Canadian stereotypes go too far, and then this happens. Australian maps are upside down, so Australia is above everyone else. You think this is a joke? Are you serious? When pirate Jean Lafitte became aware that the governor was awarding a 500 reward for his capture, Lafitte offered 5,000 for the capture of the governor. Mediterranean Sea. This is orthograph, the most accurate map. It shows the correct relative size of the continents and the distance between them. List of countries by tea consumption per capita. British people aren't even that good at drinking tea. I want everyone to stop associating tea with Britain right now. How does Ireland consume more than the whole of Britain? Because in Ireland, if you don't drink at least 15 cups a day, your tea game is weak and you get disowned. The sad truth. Does Canada even have a president, or is it just whichever moose has the strongest? Oh my. BBC calling Chile a thin strip of land in South America. Petition to fold Chile in half so it gobbles up the UK in one bite, like Pac-Man. Island. Wasland. What if it was all just a nightmare? Is this supposed to be Turkey? Why is that a nightmare? Brazil has nearly 60,000 murders. Here's a map to put that number in perspective. But America, evil America, Brazil number one. The watery side of the earth isn't real. It can't hurt you. The watery side. If the human population held hands around the equator, a significant portion of them would drown. Thomas J. imagined a big river in the middle of Australia. 1830. Thomas, drawing a massive big river in the middle of his map. Sick. I hope that's real. Russia is so big, the geese went for a walk in 1991 and only got back in 2014. The geese built Dubai and returned. Germany. Jeff-U. My world history teacher is probably one of the best. This is Sparta, a lake in Ireland, and it looks remarkably like a tornado warning. Take shelter immediately. Americans. Storm over the ocean in West Africa, as seen from the International Space Station. Looks like a UFO. Dear the world, we do exist, so please stop forgetting us on the map. Sincerely, New Zealand. Babe, will you please turn on Google Maps already? No. Ancient instinct will guide me. Be careful when exploring unmapped Avo Grotto. If you got lost, that'd be the pits. Is this what millennials' houses look like? A homeowner turned on his sprinklers before leaving to escape a wildfire. He came home to this. Happens to the best of us. A hominin walks on a muddy shore. It dies near water. Summer plans. Just to show you we mean business. Here's your precious flag upside down. Finland. Foutland. Anyway, here's a picture of a Russian diamond mining town with a hole so big it displaces the air and it sucks in helicopters when flown above it. Imagine getting beat by the diamond Russian squat boys and they say, drag himself to the hole. What normal people see. What colorblind people see. Colorado versus Ardo. Suggestion. Add Fortnite to Earth so my mom will stop telling me I'm wasting my life in a virtual world. Yet another. Maps without New Zealand. Currently in a place called Yas, but on maps, it just seems like everyone is super excited. This is surprisingly accurate. Tomato Europe, potato Europe. Air quality is so toxic. My few straight friends are about to start dating it. 1970. One more lane will fix it. 2020s. This might be the wrong approach. Planning a vacation in the USA be like. I still don't know how to play mines. An Arizona bar made a US map out of confiscated fake IDs. America. South Australia is not the southernmost state. Seriously? Northern Territory is not the most northern territory of Australia. Uber CEO. How do we turn a profit? Intern. Imagine Uber, but no car. Keep your eyes open for a 1994 white Kevin. He should arrive in 3 minutes. Iceland. Where's the ice? In Greenland. I still believe Iceland and Greenland sat down in a meeting one day and started it with, you know what to annoy people? That's actually not too far off what actually happened. Mnemonic device to remember the Great Lakes. Lisa likes licking lettuce lightly. Coffee drinkers world map. Every new thing you see deals an additional D10 psychic damage. Love the designers slapping India in the ocean like it's the late Cretaceous. Finnair Flight 666 at 13 o'clock on Friday the 13th with a 13-year-old aircraft has landed safely in hell. People actually boarded this flight. I am in love with the trend of bored architects photoshopping increasingly ridiculous ideas for the Notre Dame roof. The community pool one though is art. Name one state you have no desire to visit. Whatever all this is called. What geologists see after shoveling snow. Indonesia. Indonesia. My favorite thing about history is how everyone tries to invade Russia, but are somehow caught off guard by the Russian winter. In Soviet Russia, country fight for you. My brother and I have an interesting theory that if Canadians tried to invade Russia, they would actually survive, but once they reached the capital, they would just make friends and play some hockey. I agree with this assessment. We put 700 red dots on a map. For no reason? What was the reason? The beginning of each European anthem. Every other country. How about a normal national anthem? Usual stuff, horns, chorus of people singing. Romania. Wake up. I said, this exhibit rocks. And then all of my friends collectively groaned and abandoned me in the geology section of a museum. I like your smug little face. Geologists discover a gate with Cookie Monster hidden inside when split open. Who would win? The French army. Season. So the lawnmower guy lives in my town and he was in the parade today. When you're in geography class but don't know what's happening. The dude map, how Americans refer to their bros. What this map goes to show is that people from the Seattle don't have friends. How Canada views the world. Polar bears. Canada. Friends. Summit in Australia. Burn, die, burn. Burn. Drown in your own sweat. Sheep. Bah. No one cares. Banned. We're going on a world tour. The world. Watching people attempt to view the eclipse ended up being more entertaining than the eclipse itself. Recursive islands and lakes. Sounds confusing. Lakes and islands and lakes. Oh, I know this one. True atheism has never been tried. Do you think it has been tried or something? Countries that currently practice state atheism. Countries that formerly practice. The Department of Fisheries in India is shaped like a fish. Finally, some good architecture. Should I do architecture memes? What do you guys think of that idea? The water cycle. It's raining men. The boys are back in town. Okay. Maryland from a practical standpoint is arguably the worst state shaped. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to say that. Chartisserie, right? Chartisserie board. My coworker told me he got banned from a bar when he lived in North Dakota back in 1973 and didn't try going back to it for 30 years. But he finally did, and the moment he stepped in, someone yelled, "Get the hell out of here, Dennis." And that's probably my favorite story ever. Nobody lives here. Yellow areas represent 1 times 1 km blocks where the reported population equals 0. Scotland is nice and empty, just the way we like it. Alright, no need to brag. I own a lake. Map of Earth, if there was no land. USA deciding what should become a state. Washington DC or Puerto Rico. Some islands in the middle of the Pacific. Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture. US citizen. They're the same picture. Hey, 6 continents. There are 7 continents. There are 6 continents. Vikings naming land be like Greenland, Iceland, pranked. A flag map of Europe, but each flag is determined on which country they share the longest border with. Water is 71% water and 26% land, but Earth is actually 100% land and 71% 1% water because there is land inside water. Believe it or not, there is a shark on the freeway in Houston, Texas. It must be lit for the shark though. It's like he got new maps in the DLC. The map of EU made out of UKs. Last night's party included copious amounts of wine and a world map drawing competition. Here are some of the results. Nice work. I've seen better attempts by children. What do you mean you're going to kill me? Bro, I'm going to kill you. We have to stop climate change. We're killing the Earth. The Earth? If Earth isn't flat, why are computer mice like this, not like this? Columbus expedition. Earth is round, Earth is round. Damn stupid. Hey Columbus, any more dumb theories? Oh, screw you guys. Echo. Yeah, real original. Deep. Abysmal. Groundbreaking. This site is literally the worst. When you're in the 1400s Florence and your buddy starts coughing, I will never not find this funny. If you don't know someone's address in Iceland, you can draw a map on the front of the letter, and the postal worker will get it to your destination. New Zealand publishes short list of designs for our new flag. Sadly, none of these made the cut. Even the BBC is making fun of us. Rest in peace, Laser Kiwi. Sad to see that my proposal to split California into Northern California, Southern California, and Second Italy didn't make it onto the ballot this year. German photographer captured a photo of lightning striking a plane inside a rainbow. Psychopaths in Central Europe. Losing my mind at this topographic map of California. Time traveler drinks seawater. The timeline. New Zealand driver license. In New Zealand, there is a man legally known as the Wizard, who is an educator, comedian, magician, and politician. Some of his political ideas include abolishing old-fashioned gender roles, traveling to find the center of the universe, replacing God and the church with wizardry, and the World Wide Web. These are some of the most interesting maps. In this map, the population in the red area is equal to the population in the blue areas. That is insane. Map of Europe, but with the wrong font size. Every state's least favorite state. What the hell? Alaska has beef with Texas? Texas pumps up the Texas is a big state thing. Well, Alaska is 4 times larger than Texas. Also, because of the oil industry, probably every single person in Alaska knows a complete douche who moved up from Texas to get richer. That sounds like a them problem. Where Europeans lay claim to neighboring countries, percentage who agree that there are parts of neighboring countries that really belong to us. Very good move that nobody bothered to poll the Balkans. The pollsters didn't want to listen to a 3-hour lecture by every single person polled there. They didn't have any scales that went up to 200%. Modern historians. My sources say that 1,457 soldiers died on this battle. No, that's propaganda. Only 1,232 soldiers. Ancient historians. A random Greek guy wrote that we killed like 100,000 guys on this battle 400 years ago. Only 100k? Make it a million. Has to be one of the coolest pictures I've ever seen in a long time. Our beautiful world through the lens of the Hubble telescope. I was today years old when I realized the flags of 3 countries in the UK managed to form the flag of the UK. I'm convinced some of you didn't go to school. The trout population is very sensitive to changes in the environment, including, but not limited to, an asteroid impact with the energy of several million nuclear warheads. Has anyone else noticed how Wales looks like an angry man in a hat, pointing accusingly at Waterford? No, I still don't see it. Actually, I see it. I don't see the hat though. Geologists. What my friends think I do. My mum. Society. Other scientists. What I think I do. What I actually do. My plan is to create a perfectly flat and level Kansas by moving 5,501 cubic miles of earth from west to east. It's the ideal Kansas. Still some details to work out about rivers, roads, etc. Watch out for the 900-foot cliff bisecting Kansas City. This is honestly the best post on the entire internet. Flat earthers are going to nut. My grandpa, who was 85, started making this rock map of Scotland in 1992. He collected rocks during amateur geology trips over 30 years. He says it had to be geologically correct and also aesthetically pleasing. He asked if I could share it online as he wants to go viral, so please share. I'm not sure this is a geography meme, but I think it's funny. Today I learned humans are the best known throwers in the animal kingdom. Even children can reach pitching speeds of -70 per hour, while healthy adult chimpanzees, our closest living relatives, can only throw -20. Good to know I can beat every other species on Earth at dodgeball or baseball. Evolved to yeet. Geographers in the 16th century, drawing maps by hand, traveling the world by ship, going on expeditions. Geographers today. My GIS won't start. If gravity is not strong enough to stop a small stream from flowing to its lowest point, then what's stopping the oceans north of the equator from emptying into the oceans south of the equator? This is what Earth would look like if we lived on a globe. Gravity is pseudoscience, a theory that can't be proven. The biggest scam in history. Greenland, Iceland, pubs in the UK versus churches in Poland versus McDonald's in America. My therapist. Backwards Europe can't hurt you. It's not real. Backwards Europe. North America compared to Jupiter. How did they get North America out there? Please bring us home. Who's winning this war? Left or right? You could make it Florida versus the other 49 states, and I would still take Florida. I love geography. Argentina. Argentina. Is it weird to anyone else to think that deer are like everywhere? Like, I tend to think of them as a North American animal, but I like how they just avoid Mongolia. Mongolia has an anti-deer force field. Shout out to the one guy using steam in North Korea. Who even uses Celsius? Like, how extra? Countries which use Celsius versus Fahrenheit. You guys are extra. How aliens see Earth in movies. That's how Americans see Earth. The world is just a cat playing with Australia. The world is at war. Everyone points their fans at the hurricane to blow it back. The world countries can be rearranged to form a giant chicken. Each dot represents 5,000 hogs. World geography. Untapped infinite hog supply in the ocean. All recorded meteorite impacts in the US from 1918 to 2018. God hates Texas. God looking at Texas. Say yeehaw one more time. I dare you. This is insane to think about. Fascinating, but untrue. Tokyo is in Japan, not England. Nope. Cold. Habitable zone. Nope. Satan's armpit. Death. 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 A 100% accurate map of North America as drawn by a Canadian. Neat. 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 You're looking at day and night at the same time. Don't you realize that's been completely impossible until like the past 10 years? To be looking at this is straight up insane. Neat. Are you kidding me? Neat. Americans tried to name this country. Challenge. Impossible. Screw it. All continents are South America. I hate that every time I see this, I do not notice until the caption. What's the difference between Germany and Austria? What do you mean, what's the difference? They're two different countries. Why does Venice, Italy look like Patrick needing water? Google Maps, but it has fog of war for places you haven't visited yet. A movie. The world is under attack. The world. Tell me what country you are from using 2 words. From Poland. He's so cute. Shut up. Oh my god, this is the wrong image. Who would win? All of Europe. A sick rat. Too soon. It has been 7.5 centuries. We all have that one friend we travel with. It's not far. We can walk. 4,190 hours. US elevation. Pretty neat. Imagine living somewhere without mountains. Like, it's all flat. Get on a step stool and see the whole state. GPS tracking on 6 wolf packs shows how much they avoid and respect each other's territory. Borders are just imaginary lines that don't exist in nature. Nature. Strange how we have a country named after Chad, but not a single geographic location named after gamers. Counterpoint. The Virgin Islands. Blocked. National Geographic. Can you please follow me back so I can DM you? I've got some new research that is going to blow your mind. Ducks don't actually float. Their legs are so long that they are able to walk on the river bed. You are blocked from following. The earth is lumpy. I was not aware of this. Thank you. This makes so much sense, but it makes me so uncomfortable. I wish I hadn't seen this. One time my BF was telling me about people who argued about intelligent creation by saying, the earth is perfectly round. And I said, but it isn't. And he was proud of me. Okay, so I'm just learning this. This is a picture of an asteroid crater in Arizona. Look how close it came to hitting the visitor center. America's worst nightmare. California, Florida. Football stadiums look like giant eyes when viewed from above. I don't like knowing this. Giants formed in the ashes of the erupting volcano in southern Chile. This pool is shaped like Colorado. The Pacific Ocean has 3.9 stars out of 5 stars on Google Maps. Who the hell is downvoting the ocean? Atlantic Ocean? Someone. Hey, why are the wetlands important? Wetlands. Driving direction in Europe, 1922. Drives on the left, drives on the right. Mixed. Mixed. Netherlands. The place where a bridge is built so the river can cross the street. Africa is big enough to fit a smaller Africa within its border. Many people don't realize how large Alaska is, so I added a banana for scale. Waiting for a tornado so you can finally use that joke you've been thinking about. Got the spider. How you die in a tsunami. Just drink the water, Mother Nature. Stay right where you are. Anime is from Japan, not Asia. Japan is literally in Asia. To the idiot who never opened a history textbook. Mexico in 1821. Mexico didn't cross the border crossed them. Virginia's territorial claims over the years. With your donations, we can reduce Virginia even further. Why is it shrinking? Ocean-centered world map. You know, even though I grew up knowing it was possible to around circumnavigate the world via the ocean, I had never seen it from this way before. Greenland is farther east, west, north, and south, then Iceland. For some reason, I absolutely hate this information. How did people know what roads to take before Google Maps were made? They used maps. Wait, no, I said before Google Maps. Wow, German patriots have really had enough of their government's phony. This is a picture from the annual street in Zurich, Switzerland. It's not Germany. Hey Chile, can you please give us access to the Pacific Ocean? At Bolivia, no beaches? What does this mean? That, my friend, is exactly the question you have to ask. It means that this is one of the best ways to pile up rocks and not have them fall down for a long time. Canadian kids wearing shorts when it's 10 degrees outside. Australian kids wearing jackets when it's 30 degrees out. American kids not understanding the meme because they don't know what degree Celsius is. If you are white, you can't speak Spanish. Are you familiar with the entire country of Spain? It's official. Americans won't be allowed into Europe when it reopens. As an American, they can keep their lousy rules. I would rather go to Spain or Italy for vacation any day of the week. I have bad news for you. Fine, then Greece. Map of all the countries where the Prime Minister went for a swim and literally just disappeared one day and was never found, and none of the citizens cared. Australia is Scooby-Doo. I love Scooby-Doo. Goodbye, America. Hello, New York. New York is still in America, just saying. Antarctica, the confusing continent. North, south, also... Yeah, I don't like this at all. Imagine getting lost here. This map shows the longest straight line one can travel on land without crossing any major bodies of water. Ideal spot for egg hatching. How many bananas can you buy for $5 in each country that is shown on the screen? I have no idea what to do with this information. This can't be real. Is this a joke? Most disgusting racist thing I've ever seen in my life. Imagine one day having this train map. I mean, probably in 300 years this will be a thing, maybe even sooner. Assuming we're not all dead. Thank you, New York, for being so awful that I can't even protect myself with my handgun in your crime-ridden city. At least your pizza is good though. Who wants to tell this lady she's in New Jersey? I just realized that America sideways looks like a duck. We have the Statue of Liberty. All you have is the Eiffel Tower. Hashtag Americans versus British. You're kidding, right? You guys think that all of Canada is so innocent, but in grade 1, I had a geography teacher with 3 fingers, and he gave me a C because I pronounced Kenya differently than him. And when my mum reported it to the office, we found out that he wasn't even supposed to be teaching at my school. He was literally some stranger who wandered in. Earth, Stonehenge, Easter Island. Geography classes in 2040. What, are you saying the Earth is flat? No. This professor could not find a projector and drew the map of the world himself. He is too powerful. He must be contained before explosions. When you have a geography test and you didn't study. Fascinating. Countries arranged by geographical location. Rod Stewart fears we're too late to stop global warming. Why does he care? He's not a US citizen. He's not affected. Imagine having a Confederate flag in your room. What an idiot. I tried. An American. Did you really try? I don't think you did try. I think you trolled. One of these has to be Ireland. Get the hell out of here. I hate how accurate this is. New Zealand looks like a part of a before and after picture of Italy. 2 bodies recovered during search for missing swimmers at Murderkill River. I'm sorry, the what river? Can you scratch my back? Yeah, where? Republic of Congo. I want to go to this exact point and run around it saying, I'm in Sweden, I'm in Finland, I'm in Norway, until I get tired. I aspire to do great things in life. According to Google Maps, that point is in the middle of a small lake, so we'll do it in January when it's frozen. Technically lava can kill the virus, but there is a good reason why no one is using it to fight the ongoing pandemic. Nothing else would survive the encounter with molten rock either. People who tell me I shouldn't drink lava. The media. People who lie. The media. Conclusion, I am going to drink lava. I am a geologist with no association to the media, and I would not recommend drinking lava. If English-speaking countries were a family, the parent, the good kid, the popular kid, the close one, the weird kid, the neglected kid. Imagine being part of a continent. This post was made by the Pacific Island Gang. Georgia? That's a state, not a country. Its capital is Atlanta, bro. Turkey? That's a bird, not a country. Its origin is America, bro. Hungary? No, I just ate. Map of the world, but all countries are social distancing. God invented war so that Americans can learn geography. In 1845, 79 people died in a bridge collapse over the River Burr because a large crowd had gathered to watch a clown in a bathtub be pulled upon river by 4 geese. The world before Netflix. When did you go to Germany? I left on June 10th, and I leave Frankenthal tomorrow to go to Austria. You're going to Australia too? Take some pictures in Sydney. Haha, no, Austria. It's spelled Australia. What goes on here? No man's land. When the ships pass through Point Nemo in the southern Pacific Ocean, they are 2,700 kilometers from the nearest land. This means that at the right time of the day, the nearest humans are on the International Space Station, 416 kilometers up. I don't know why terror seems like the correct emotional reaction to this, but it is. From someone who sails and reads a lot of books about the history of sailing, terror is entirely the correct emotional reaction. Electricity consumption in Europe in 1507. This is the most useless map I've ever seen, and I love it. I want to print it out and put it on my wall. OMG, why do white people love cheese so much? Percentage of adult population with lactose intolerance. I actually didn't know that. The answer is apparently because we're able to actually eat it. Why America has the most tornadoes in the world? It's called geography. Google it sometime. What's a useless geography fact? Belgium. Texas confession. I've never seen snow in real life. I posted this and it snowed like 2 inches a week later for the first time in like 35 years. What the hell? Texas confession. I've never had $1 million. This is where Americans can travel now. Is there like an imaginary line that thinks they can stop us? So wait, you support illegal immigration now? I was checking out who was on my blog, and why are you in the middle of the ocean? I have been informed that this is Hawaii. Now look at the very top of the continent, and northeast of it. Hi Scrat, the little guy from Ice Age is still after that acorn. Sometimes I think North America is a fat dragon. I can't unsee. It's a dragon! What planet is this? It's Earth, viewed from 15 degrees to 145 degrees. The center of the Pacific. The Pacific Ocean is huge. If they make an Earth flag, it should be off this angle, just to annoy the most amount of people. England can cut their own grass. Welcome to Scotland. I am from Bulgaria. Why? Name for hamburger by US country. Yo, east half of America, why do you have so many counties? Duck Duck Grey Duck versus Duck Duck Goose. State by state. It's Duck Duck Grey Goose, damn it. No one will ever tell me otherwise. What in the hell is Duck Duck Grey Duck? Tired of the election map? The yellow states in this map are where you can legally own an otter. This red line divides the world population in half. I had to balance it out with 13 Latvias, cause my math didn't add up. I wish I'd never seen this proof that you can sail from the UK to New Zealand in a straight line. It feels like cursed knowledge that no mortal man should hold. US state borders, but they are based off rivers and mountains. Get Europe. I don't need any more friend, because I have one very big friend. Here he is. End of the world. Place your bets. Earthquake, meteor, plague, human stupidity. Spilled my spaghetti because of an earthquake. I can never be happy in life. Most popular emojis by state. Maybe we're not so divided after all. Happy World Emoji Day. Georgia is the bottom capital of America. Geography. What are the chances of a world map forming out of rust? Accurate as well. This has to be fake. It's possible that geography isn't the student's strength. That's not even a state. There was a list. That's your state. Roughly every 6 days in the world, a country celebrates its independence from Britain. It's the most widely celebrated holiday in the world. British-French rivalry. We are the most iconic rivals in history. Yes, Dutch Sea rivalry. At it again. This dog just appeared out of nowhere and followed us for an entire week during our trekking trip in the Himalayan outback. When I decided to get up at 4 AM to climb the next 500-meter peak, he accompanied me as well. On the top, he was sitting for the entire 30 minutes on this place. This dog knows something. Last night, me, got any homework? Anna, nah. Me, what you gonna do? Have a map I'm working on. Just found this on her desk. Why is it so accurate? The most popular word in each state. The. Y'all. Can someone just explain French to me? It's Spanish, but you speak it in cursive. You have 11 letters. You pronounce 4 of them. Learn to speak Spanish. Now learn to speak Italian. Now subtract the Spanish from Italian. You are left with French. Biologist screws up. Mutant killer virus. Physicist screws up. Deadly black hole. Geologist screws up. Rock on table is now rock on floor. A geography-themed game show where you win trips to countries around the world, but in order to redeem it, you have to be able to actually find them on a map. Very clever, considering Germany is landlocked. Oh dear, did you fail geography? Girls when they get a compliment. Thank you. Topographical map of Brazil. Driving from Singapore to 60% of the world's countries. Regional giraffe patterns. The whole time, still we had live giraffes walking around. I never noticed they had different patterns. Compared to the top 200 most frequently used words in each European country's Wikipedia page, and took the most commonly used unique word. When you tried to create an accurate map of the world, but you are also an absolute British chap from the 1930s. 5% of the world's population lives in the blue shaded area. 5% also lives in the red shaded area. I have a plan. No, I like Italy where it is actually. The contour of some American states form a chef carrying a tray of fried chicken. This is so important. Nobody has mentioned the fact that the chicken is Kentucky. Kentucky Fried Chicken. The conspiracy slowly unravels. Top private employers in each state. The fact that Colorado's top private employer is the Denver airport just makes that airport so much weirder. I am English, you are European. We are not the same. We are still European, just not in the EU. No, like I said, I am English. You are European. We are not the same. Other countries. We're losing coastline. No! The Netherlands. The ocean is swallowing up our land. Lol, just make more. Americans. Why do foreigners care so much about our elections? US military bases. You wake up, it's 2050. What do you Google first? Is the Queen of England still alive? Look at my emperor, man. We're going into a period of decline. Just being a volcano. The world. Then act like it. I've erupted. I've erupted. You've erupted. Oh shit. Queensland. Just call it England, you pretentious Queensland. It is in Australia. It's an Australian state. I hate when people say, I'm Spanish. Like, no, that's a language, not a nationality. Boy, I have got news for you about a country called Spain. You're telling me Americans don't know what country this is? Yeah, we are. At least not all of them. Photo of the week. The boundary between Scottsdale, Arizona and the Salt River Indian Reservation. This section of highway in the Wyoming desert is almost as big as the entirety of Europe, and call me an illegal border crosser for moving to the US from Sweden. I swear that some people would be better off not having the ability to think. Sweden is a part of Germany, you idiot. Go back to geography class, you trash piece of shit. Here it is on the map, you absolute cabbage. I have a geography joke, but I don't know where it is. I have a statistics joke, but it's not significant. Historical range of the use of war elephants throughout history. Me, a simple English pikeman, watching a war elephant rampaging through Kent. What's all this then? Putting a different country's flag on my lawn to make it harder for GeoGuessr players to guess where they are. Lawn. United States. Many people don't realize just how big a whale can be when the image isn't to scale. Well, an image much closer to camera than the background. I just heard somebody light off fireworks at 9 AM. You had a whole day yesterday. What happened? Time zones exist. I'm going to need you to think really hard about this one. They found a humanoid tooth in Georgia. Country, not the state. That's 1.8 million years old. Georgia is a state, not a country. United States is a country. The total area of solar panels it would take to power the world, Europe, and Germany. Scientists politely remind the world that clean energy technology is ready to go whenever. Have you ever wanted to be the center of attention so bad you cut Asia in half? Do most American world maps seriously have America in the center? We do. Are you kidding me? In Chinese maps, Asia is in the center. Which nation is centralized depends on the map's origins. In Canada, our maps are cut through the Pacific, so we don't offend anyone. Actually studying geography. Making memes about geography. Problem with today's youth. What's going on? I'm in this photo, and I don't like it. Oh, you like geography? Name every single place. I'm Indonesian. I can't. Hi, I have a quick question. If you're Indonesian, does that mean you're Asian? I don't think they're Asian. They're mostly Muslim. Maybe next to Syria? If you could date someone from another country, which would you choose? California. Minister confirms Britain will not leave Europe geographically. Mexico. Mexico in American movies. Teens 60 AD. I have just finished my gladiator training. Now I am ready for my arranged marriage and a position in the Emperor's army. Teens now. The new Google icons suck. Still amazed by this. The city center of Siena, Italy, is roughly the size of this highway interchange in Houston, Texas. To all my friends from/in Hong Kong, you were just announced to be African by, yes, CNN. Isn't that South America? Just realized that somewhere in Brazil. Seriously thinking about deleting this now. The world is so beautiful. The world sucks and everyone is stupid. The world is so beautiful. Map of the USA, 2018. You are making a joke out of this. Made an American pride flag for the 4th of July. Bestie, that is the flag for the Netherlands. No, I made it myself. Sometimes I'm reminded that the name of the River Thames is pronounced Thames, and sometimes I also think about all the people who learned how Thames is pronounced from this post and will always remember that that fact because of this specific mental association. And I'm almost sorry. Does Dutch mean like Dom Butch? No, it's my nationality. Google Trends data used to determine every state's favorite Mario character. Luigi's everyone's favorite? Japan. For a long time, I've wondered what I find so alluring and strangely human about Japanese urban scenes. And then someone tweeted it. Japan doesn't have on-street parking. Italy, but I darkened it and rotated it 90 degrees. Hungary. Then go get food. Only come into existence in 1732. Take the same name of a country thousands of years old. Have a GDP almost 10 times larger. Force everyone to think of you when they hear the name Georgia instead of the country. Melbourne is closer to Antarctica than it is to Darwin. Not if you use miles instead of kilometers, but point taken. Happy Simp Day. Who is Pokemon? In math, my solution. In history, my queen. In art, my canvas. In science, my oxygen. In geography, my world. In reality, someone who doesn't know you exist. Russia is European. No, Russia is Asia. Have you considered there is literally nothing justifying Europe and Asia being two different continents in the first place? Have you seen that big mountain range recently? You're right. I forgot that we arranged our continents by mountain ranges. Who wouldn't see this and then deeply look into their own emotional playing field to see what improvements could be made purely inspired by the vulnerable Earth? This is the face of all literal gods. It's actually something called the overview effect, something experienced by astronauts that makes them see that from space, national boundaries vanish, the conflicts that divide people become less important, and the need to create a planetary society with the united will to protect this pale blue dot becomes obvious and imperative. Is China in Japan? Literally, yes. You're so smart. Bah! Not on any of my maps I have. I must have the old ones. Lol. I thought they were separate, but this status just confused me. You're just as smart, lol. This made my day. Brain fart. They are different, I think. Map of the world by natural skin color. I'm really dumbfounded that I never realized skin color is literally just caused by being closer to or farther from the equator and the resulting sun exposure and skin darkening. Actually, it's an adaptation. Natural selection people with darker skin are selected for in areas near the equator where the melanin that causes the darker color protects them from the radiation and protects them from skin cancer and other health defects. And because they are healthier, they can pass on that trait more. People near the poles have lighter skin because it allows them to absorb more of the limited sunlight to convert to vitamin D. This is the thing some people hate other people over. Evolution of melanin levels based on geographical location. I had to make the Naruto map bigger so it's still visible. One Piece world. Naruto/Boruto world map. They're power scaling geography now. Sunset on Mars. And how much did this cost when there is so much poverty? You're fun, I can just tell. You drive for 4 hours and are still in the same part of the country. You drive for 2 hours. The local accent has changed twice, and bread rolls have a new name. You drive for 4 hours, you passed 3 front lines, 4G no sides, and the language changed 17 times. Don't ever accept a drinking challenge from an Aussie. Just don't do it, ever. You're setting yourself up for an awful lose then. Them damn Europeans will drink you under the table every time. Who's your favorite Northern American hip-hop artist? North American? Drake is from Canada. It's North, but not America. Africa's perception war. Russia is 6,400, Africa is 7,200. And there is a reason for this and why it looks smaller even though Africa is bigger. I just don't remember. Geography. I know all countries and capitals of the world. Geography at school. No, you have to learn about the economical impact of petrol boats. I found something. Meme Lake. No way, it's where I live. I would say I should go here for a video, but I'd probably die trying to get there.